Hello and welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. Hello. Great morning. What's up, Dorcas? Oh my God, that is awesome. I love your name. It's classic. I must add, I love it. So welcome, guys. So if you don't know me, my name's Dr. Kenny Harless, and I'm a retired chiropractor. And I grew up in Cross Lanes, West Virginia, a little suburb of Charleston. And lived there 21 years. I had a life-altering experience with chiropractic when I was around 20 years of age. It changed my life. I went on to become one. And I went to school in Davenport, Iowa, which was in the Quad Cities area. If you're not familiar, that is where the John Deere headquarters is in Moline, Michigan. But it was Davenport, Quad City. It was the Quad Cities, Davenport, Bettendorf, Moline, and Rock Island. Lived there 3.5 years, got my doctorate of chiropractic, hola, Edwin, and went from there and went up to Michigan and opened up my own personal practice. Now, in doing all this, met my beautiful wife. Her name's Honesty. And on TikTok, her name's Honest Fiber. She's an occupational therapist. And if you're not following her, you should. And I basically lived there, and it was about 45 miles west where I opened my clinic in Dundee, Michigan, of Detroit, Michigan. I was just south of Ann Arbor, Michigan, just east of Jackson, Michigan, just north of Toledo, Ohio. Now, when 2020 hit, we decided I went into retirement, and we moved our family to Florida, where we currently reside in St. John's, Florida. We absolutely love it. It's just south of Jacksonville, just a little bit west. I mean, maybe a few miles of St. Augustine. If you've never been, it's absolutely beautiful. So let's have some fun, right? Now, I'm hoping this morning that you can glean some information from me that maybe will help you, right? Actually improve your metabolism. Sorry, guys, trying to get a couple things fit in there. Hopefully it's a little better. So anyway, this was me. How many of you have struggled like I used to with your metabolic health? This was me when I hit my early 30s. You can see I was chronically inflamed. My energy was down the tubes. I was exhausted. I was also, blood pressure was going up. My cholesterol panel was going up. I needed that midday nap. Everything in my body hurt. I had chronic inflammation on my right shoulder. You got to be kidding me. That is so crazy. You're in St. John's? I love it. You got to get a hold of me, Terry, please. It's awesome. Yeah, we live in Rivertown currently, but we're moving over to the Landings. So welcome. Come back, Keith. What's up, brother? So stinking proud of you, man. Keep up the great work. But this was me, and I was just inflamed, stuck, and I hit my early 30s, and I thought, my gosh, is this the way it's going to be? I mean, all the things I had been trying to do were no longer working. I mean, I had done all the things. I mean, I have done ketogenic diets where you measure your ketones, where you measure glucose. I eat real ketogenic food, not like processed food, got into ketosis. I've done juice fast where I made those at home, cold pressed. I've done every meal preps on Sundays, right? Weighing my macronutrients by the gram. I've done all those things and nothing was working. Has anyone else ever had this happen? And then I found a simple, sustainable way to do this. And I'm going to share this with you as we go. But more importantly, I want you to understand. Now, in the Bible says, in all gaining, gain understanding. And when I figured out this hormone and how to keep it lower, how to keep my cells sensitive to it, these other things start to clear right up. And we're going to explain why that is and maybe why you've not heard of this term. And one of my friends, Kenneth Harper, he's a medical doctor. He was like, I was never taught this in med school. Now, people gloss this over, but don't even know what this is. Talker Chop, what's up? Chopper Talk, what's up, brother? Welcome. You guys should follow Chopper Talk. You should follow Comeback Keith. These guys have some tremendous testimonies, and they can share their story and what they've learned and apply principles that we're going to share with you, right? So this was me. Now, here's what I look like. This was just a couple of years ago because of my own ignorance. This was me, and that was in 2024. I felt as old as I looked. Everything in my body hurt. I love to golf. I moved to Florida back in 2020. I took it up. I love it. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't play 9 holes. My low back was killing me. It was a disaster. And I couldn't get out of bed in the morning, all those things, right? Blood pressure, peeing all night, everything that you're kind of told that's old age. Now, about a month and a half after that, I ended up in the hospital. And this was me right here. I was actually getting out. This was on April 7th. I went in the 7th for an appendix rupture, got out the 14th. And I was so excited, right? I mean, I made it through, thank Jesus, and thank God for medicine. And then 4 days later, I went back in with an abscess, and I spent almost 2 months more in the hospital. And while I was in there, I was getting injected with insulin. There was all kinds of things happening. I'm thinking, I'm not a diabetic. Like, what in the heck's happening? And this was me while I was under managed care. Now, my blood pressure was up, my triglycerides were up, my LDL was up, my HDL was down, all my joints hurt, chronic inflammation, fatty liver, sleep apnea, AFib, you name it, I pretty much had it. And this was me 35 days apart, all by learning how to control this hormone, right? How to minimize it. Now, it doesn't just work for men, but this simple 3-step reset, look at this. This is my buddy Cooper. He looks like a fitness model. He just updated a picture and sent it to me. I got to look it up. But this guy right here, he had these dark patches of skin under his underarms. And you might think like he did, that was deodorant stains. It's not. It's too much insulin in your skin. We're going to explain this to you. But this is Red Plymouth here on TikTok. And well, his foot edema is gone. Fluid in his lungs are gone. Now, this was managed care. And this right here was him under this simple 3-step reset. Now, Dr. Joanne's in menopause. And I'm in menopause. Sorry, ladies. It's my bad dad joke for this morning. But Dr. Joanne right here. Look at this beautiful, like, look at this. This is her. Right? I think it's over 50 pounds. I don't remember, but her chronic inflammation is gone. She goes, I was in menopause and I thought it was just going to get worse, right? Maybe you find yourself in that boat, ladies. Look at this right here. Tammy, thank you. Look at this beautiful lady. This is my friend, Dr. Marla. Dr. Marla has had chronic inflammation, had the long C disease. She couldn't get rid of it. She has a learning disabled daughter. Was traumatically injured at birth, her brain was, and so she completely depends upon Dr. Marla. And Dr. Marla in this photo was walking with a cane. Now, when you get inflammation building up in your system like this, it leads to damage to the brain and yourself. You maybe start forgetting things, car keys, people's names. This is what was happening to her when she looked like Aunt Mabel. And well, this is her in a few months. Now she looks like Meryl Streep. And look at my friend Ro. She's a nurse. She actually is in medicine, right? She's in managed care. This was her. Her managed care A1C was 14. It's currently 5.9. But more importantly, do you notice how these people are looking much younger? We're going to explain why this is. Okay, now, look at this right here, my friend Kim. And we can measure what we're going to show you in blood work. So this isn't me telling you opinion. Numbers don't lie. Her triglycerides went from 318 under managed care to 108. Look at her A1C, diabetic to pre-diabetic, and well, she's down 8 pant sizes. So what is this, right? Well, how did we get here first off? Let me explain a couple things, ask you a couple questions, right? And I'm going to ask a lot of questions during this live, but how many of you, and I used to give this advice, so I'm not trying to throw shade on anyone, right? But how many of you have been told if you need to lose some weight, you need to reset your metabolism, get your energy back, all those things, all you need to do is move your body more frequently, eat less calories, and you are going to lose weight. If you've been told to do this, put a 1 in the chat, would you? Come back, Keith. I love you, brother. Thank you so much. Now, if it's really just about calories, right? All we have to do is program our phone today, and thank you, Val, and we'll minimize our calories by 500. We track them, we move more frequently, and at the end of the week, we should lose a pound, right? Now, let's say for mathematical purposes that I weigh 200 pounds. I don't, but let's just say that I did. If I did that for 200 weeks, would I weigh 0 in 200 weeks? Well, and I think we all understand the answer is no. Now, Justine, thank you so much, Philip. I'm not here telling you that calories don't matter. They do. I mean, calories are how you measure energy inside of the food. But what you might not have been privy to or ever had explained to you is you have to get the food into the cell to convert it into energy. And guess what controls that is insulin. You guys get it? Now, watch this. If a diabetic type 1 eats 10,000 calories a day and they do not inject insulin, they will never be able to get the calories into the cell. It's called diabulimia. It's actually a medical condition. So what you've kind of been taught is a partial reality. We're going to show you the truth of it so you can make informed decisions. Does that make sense? When I was in practice, I never told practice members what to do. I explained it in a way they would understand it and they would come to their own conclusions. So they've known for 107 years that if you restrict your calories, they did this study at the Carnegie Institute of Washington. They followed up later on with the Minnesota starvation diet. But if you reduce your calories, here's what happens. And if you've had any of these symptoms, you can say me in the chat. Number one, they were always hungry. So let's say I go over to Comeback Keith's house. This is my boy Comeback Keith that I've met through this. I did not know before this protocol. This was Comeback Keith under managed care. Now, Comeback Keith was a 25-year diabetic. He was on 15 of these a day. He actually died for 1 minute. They paddled him back to life. Thank God for medicine for that. And this is managed care, Keith. And this is my friend now. And Keith, I mean, I think you're down 103. You got off, what, 108 units of insulin in 2 days, I believe? And this was a day in the life of Keith as a type 2 diabetic under managed care. So we're going to show you how all this works, right? But let me show you this. So let's say I go to Keith's house for a barbecue this weekend. And I used to do all the restrictive fad things, diets, trying to lose weight, like many of you probably. And I mean, I've done cold pressed juices and ketos and all this stuff, right? And I would think to myself, my God, if I go to Keith's house and I take my own snacks and food, is that going to look weird? Or are all my boys going to make fun of me, right? If I did that and I went to Keith's house, and I would think, well, okay, will Keith have food that I can eat? Will there be enough food? And when I get there, will the food be available? I could not stop thinking about food. Has anyone else ever felt like this? And then I would eat and I would pass out. I would be exhausted. Now, isn't food supposed to give us fuel, energy? And when I would fall asleep, anybody else on here get tired? If so, put tired in chat. And I would eat and I would fall asleep. And Keith is my buddy. So what do guys do? We're goofballs. And he would put notes or stuff right on my face. He would take pictures of me and send them to all of our group chat guys. And we would be blowing it up, making fun of me, right? Does this make sense? That's how guys are. We're so goofy. But then I would go from this high and low and all this stuff. And then I was getting cold a lot. Does anybody else on here ever get cold? Let me show you why you're getting cold. When you reduce the energy coming into the body because you're counting and restricting your calories, which we're not going to teach you to do any of that, by the way. Your body goes, oh, okay, well, less energy's coming in. We're going to make less energy going out. Your metabolism slows down. Now, here's a question for you. Every one of you have done this. You can go ahead and put 20 in the chat, but let me explain. How many of you have restricted your calories to lose 10 pounds initially, and then before you know it, you've gained 20 pounds or more back? If you've ever had this happen, do me a big favor and put a 20 in the chat. And the reason that you've done this is when you are insulin resistant, which I'm going to explain right now. When you're insulin resistant, you can't tap into stored fat for fuel. So your body actually burns the muscle. This is known as sarcopenia. And when you have sarcopenia, your muscle is lower. And when your muscle is lower, well, your metabolism slows. And if you have less muscle, you can soak up less sugar, which means that you have to increase more insulin, causing more of the same problem known as insulin resistance. So what is insulin resistance? Dr. Benjamin Bikman, the world's leading insulin resistant doctor, points out that when you restrict your calories and eat more frequently, you become insulin resistant. Now, take a good look at this. These are just some of the problems. But this right here is the center. This is the root. And if you learn to fix the root, you get rid of this $9 trillion fruit. Now, how? Well, let me show you. Last summer, my wife and I went out to celebrate our 20th anniversary. My wife is a saint for dealing with me, and I travel. It's crazy. And she's just an incredible human being, and I'm so blessed. And her name's Honest Fiber on TikTok if you're not following her. But the Bible says when you find the right woman, they're more valuable than rubies and gold. And that's true. Now, we went out, celebrated our anniversary. If you're in the St. Johns County, Florida area, you may have heard of Michael's. It's over on Volano Beach. It's an incredible little restaurant. And we went out and we got something to eat. We got a drink. And honestly, we don't drink anymore. But Linda, I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. Keep up the fantastic work. And we got this drink. I got an old fashioned. Now, because I don't drink anymore, I'm sure you can imagine, it didn't take a whole lot of that drink for me to, well, feel a lot different, right? And I drank about this much, and I started to feel very different. Now, Winston, come here. This is my one. Come here. This is Winston. You'll hear him playing later. This is, he's a Frenchie. Can you say hi? Can you say hi? Huh? What's up? You go. You already hit 20. And you'll hear Walter snoring here in a minute. He's hilarious. But anyway, so we had this. Now, if I drank alcohol every couple of hours, would I need more alcohol to get the same effect? Does that make sense? Now, how many of you, let me relate this to the food environment. How many of you Dee, what's up, beautiful? I'm so proud of you. Keep up the great work. But how many of you have been told to eat every 2 hours? And this will keep your metabolism elevated. If you've been told this, put a 2 in the chat. Now, who profits when you eat every couple hours? Do they make money when you eat or when you don't? When you take something or when you don't? When you inject or when you don't? Does this make sense? Now, understand that every time that you eat food, the food that you consume is converted into blood sugar. That'll be represented by this cube of sugar. Now, your body requires 1 cube worth of sugar in the bloodstream at all times. Even if you're eating more than that, the body clears it out with a hormone called insulin. Wifey, what's up, beautiful? Keep crushing it. I'm so proud of you. And if you eat certain macronutrients like carbohydrates, where they've taken the fiber out, we'll explain this deeper as we go, your blood sugar goes higher. Now, quick question, if we have any diabetics on here that measure their blood sugar, if your blood sugar goes higher, do you have to inject more or less insulin? Would you put that in the chat? Now, notice how protein spikes your blood sugar in 4 to 5 hours it takes to come back down versus an hour. 90% of carbs, even though they may taste salty, turn into glucose, which is sugar, which spike insulin, which tell your body to store fat. Insulin is your fat storage hormone. Insulin tells your body to store and insulate, but it also tells your body to grow tissue, and I'll explain in a second. Now, fat barely spikes your blood sugar at all, and you've all been told not to eat fat, that fat makes you fat, right? I know, I was brought up during that time frame too. Weird, isn't it? Now, let me show you. So, if you're eating every 2 hours, you're keeping insulin levels elevated. And it's telling your body, oh, we're in abundance of food in the environment. Let's store this and let's grow tissue while we've got energy. It's not going to tap into stored energy if you've got energy available. It wants to store it. Is this making sense? If so, give me a thumbs up. Now, if you drank just a little bit of alcohol, if you just restricted your calories, but you drank alcohol and ate every couple hours, would you need more or less alcohol to get the same effect? Would you need more or less insulin to get the same effect? And this is what's called insulin resistance. Now, you can have insulin resistance for up to 15 to 20 years. The Great Britain medical journal, The Lancet, points out, it talks about this. And you can have high insulin for 15 years that your doctor never measures for before you lose control of blood glucose, known as blood sugar. And that is how they diagnose you with type 2 diabetes. Now, before all the diabetic diagnosis happens, you might want to know some warning signs your body's showing you right now that they're like big engine, check engine lights all over your car. Number one sign of insulin resistance, and if you've got any of these, you can put IR in the chat. Number one sign is that top of the muffin over your belt line that won't go away. That's because you're in storage mode, insulating mode. Yes, how many of you got that, right? And then you start to develop skin tags. Skin tags are not... Those are not like your skin rubbing up against your clothes, but it's too much insulin in your tissue, the skin. So you start to get these little tags on you, maybe your eyes, your neck, your underarms, your inner thighs. Yes. And how many of you have been doing what I've been sharing? Your skin tags are shrinking and they're falling off without going to a doctor to do so. If your skin tags are gone, just put ST for skin tags G in the chat. Skin tags gone in the chat, would you? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You guys are going to see, your whole lives, you've all been given the blue pill. But this morning, I'm going to give you the red one. And if you know the name of the movie, you can put it in the chat because you've all been tricked. And I don't mean the cereal, the neurotoxic stuff that they've been serving you guys, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, all their warning signs your body's too, insulin is too high. How many of you are getting dark patches of skin on your maybe eyes, under your eyes, your neck, your knuckles, your elbows, your inner thighs, even your underarms? It's not too much deodorant. It's not a stain of deodorant. It's actually too much insulin in your skin. It's called acanthosis nigricans. Now, when you get too much sugar built up in the liver, here's what they call that. They call it fatty liver. They used to call it non-alcoholic fatty liver, but now they call it NASH and MASH. Now, warning signs that this is occurring in your metabolic pathways in your body, well, your triglyceride numbers are going up. Yeah, also your LDL is going up, your lipoprotein B is going up, your VLDL is going up, and, well, your HDL is going down. Anybody got blood work like that around town? Go ahead and put BW in the chat. We'll show you how all that happened and when it started happening and how they've created answers to make you under managed care. You'll love it. By the way, ladies, you're starting to get really erratic menstrual cycles from all this elevated insulin. You're maybe getting endometriosis. You're also developing polycystic ovarian syndrome. You're getting hair on your face, ladies, losing your hair. My wife struggled with PCOS for over 20 years. Had no idea she had insulin resistance. We had 2 miscarriages, 7 years to get pregnant. Her name's Honest Fiber. You should go follow her on TikTok. This was my wife less than 2 months. This is a big reason why I teach this, because people have no clue. And not only that, guys, the male version of this issue, you've got no stencil in your pencil. Yeah, that right there, erect. Yeah, that dysfunction right there. You're losing muscle. That's why you guys lose 10 pounds and gain the 20 and more back. That's called sarcopenia. Thank you for the shares. Your blood pressure starting to go up. We'll explain why. They blame it on salt, but we'll show you what's really causing it. And then we'll show you what they prescribe you to blow your mind. You get also osteoarthritis. Anybody out there got medical conditions that end in the letters ITIS? If you do, you can put itis in the chat. What does itis mean? Itis in Latin means fire. So it's telling you what tissue or organ in your body's on fire. Many of you are probably dealing with autoimmune diseases. They're through the roof now. You can put auto in the chat. That's because your gut's out of balance. You've got a lot of inflammation. 80% of the immune system lives in the gut. Well, now your immune system's attacking its own tissue. Itis diagnoses things like osteo means bone, arthur means joint. Your bone and joints are on fire and hurting. Yeah, they tell you it's old age. Well, the sugar does make you age faster. We'll explain that too and show you the science behind it. But you're starting to get bronchitis, inflammation in your lungs, colitis, your colon's on fire, gingivitis. Have you ever seen pictures of cavemen with all their teeth? They must have had tremendous toothbrushes thousands of years ago. That must have been the answer. And tinnitus, you're losing your hearing, you're getting balance issues, you're losing your vision, eye floaters, blurred vision, cataracts happening younger and younger. It is a whole industry. It's a whole mess, and we're going to show you how to fix it. Does this sound familiar? And all of these are warning signs that are happening for 15 years before you finally lose control of blood glucose, which is how they diagnose you with type 2 diabetes. Now, once you get this right here, this goes up cardiovascular disease by 80%. And then look at this. Dementia and Alzheimer's, when you're type 2 diabetic, goes up 81%. Buy nudie videos. Don't you love how these people are able to come on and do this trash? It's incredible, isn't it? I know I got to be so careful what I say, but we get nudies all over the place. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. But anyway, my boy John Frost just joined. Here's another type 2 that no longer is. John Frost was a 25-year diabetic. He'll tell you all this, and had a foot ulcer for the second time. And well, John in 1 month was able to actually reset his type 2. And John, correct me if I'm wrong, it was 1 month, wasn't it? This is a year apart, and I don't even know how much you're down now, but it's crazy, isn't it? We'll show you how and why. Now, how did this all get started? How did you end up with all this stuff? Because David Perlmutter, a famous neurologist you want to read, his book's called The Grain Brain. And he points out that what did the pyramid of food tell us to consume? How many servings of what per day? And what do you feed cows to fatten them up? He wrote the book Insane in the Grain Brain, because when you get type 2 diabetes, they call dementia and Alzheimer's around the world diabetes type 3. And uncontrolled cell growth, they call that stuff diabetes type 4, just so you guys are all familiar. Yeah, Divina, I'm so proud of you. Keep up the great work, D-May. Now, how did this all happen? What's the most important meal of your day? Would you guys all put that in the chat for me? Let's take a look at what this Logs of Kell company did to us. I'm going to splice a couple commercials together just to show you how Stepford Wife Truman showed we've all been. You guys ready? The best part of waking up. That's when they get you to put crapohydrates in your cup. Let me show you. You see, whenever God has made a carbohydrate in nature, he wrapped that carbohydrate in fiber, except for honey. He wrapped that in a beehive. That's the only one he didn't wrap in fiber, and we'll show you why. But those crapohydrates, they've taken those out. And when they take them out, look what happens. Boom, boom. And the very word break fast means breaking your fast. Yeah, weird. So it is the most important meal of your day, but I'll just let you know, you absolutely 1000% don't want to balance it with carbohydrates and fruit in the morning. Fruit has fructose. And if you have diabetes and prediabetes and belly fat and all these things I'm talking about, you definitely don't want to start with fruit that's been sugarized, selected, modified, where it used to be, because all that fructose goes right to your liver. And we'll explain that deeper as we go. But how many diabetics on here are told to start their morning off with a piece of toast? Put D in toast in the chat, D for diabetes. Weird. Now, how many of you have also been told or heard of the word stem cells? If you have, put SC in the chat for stem cells. You ladies and gentlemen know that stem cells, you probably heard of these, right? They're the new buzzword. But stem cells, if you go 24 hours without consumption of food, that your body actually makes its own stem cells, medical research shows. Now, if you make them, that means you ain't got to take them. That means you're saving thousands of dollars. I wonder why you haven't heard from the doctor on the television. Find out if that's right for you guys. Now, also, you don't have to sign a waiver when you make your own. And that means that there's no side effects and symptoms coming. That means there's nothing else for them to manage. They call it fixed care, managed care. I'm asking for a friend. And weird, isn't it? Now, and when you actually make these stem cells, they fix the mucosal layer in your intestines. Has anyone heard of leaky gut on here? If you have, put LG in the chat. Now, leaky gut is also medically known as DIS. That means without. Bios is life. That means without life. And when you aren't feeding the gut the 100 trillion cells in your microbiota what they need, you start to get higher amounts of the bad bacteria. Anybody ever see the movie Gremlins? Put Gremlins in the chat. Now, did you want Gizmo around or Gremlins, right? And when you feed the bacteria the stuff that they don't need, like the processed food and modified food starch and high fructose and all that stuff, they grow inflammatory bacteria, gram-negative bacteria that seep lipopolysaccharides, LPS, in your bloodstream, which cause leaky gut, which leads to all of this inflammation. And 80% of your immune system lives in your intestines, and your body starts to attack its own tissue. Anybody out there on antidepressants? Yeah. You ever notice how they call those medications SSRIs? That stands for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And that's because 95% of the serotonin in our bodies are actually made in our intestines. Serotonin is your happy hormone. Yeah. And if you can't make it, don't worry. They'll give it to you to take it. Anybody on here following the 3-step reset that I've been sharing? Your mood is much better. If so, just put mood in the chat, would you? Your joint pain's gone, your waistline's shrinking, and your autoimmune starting to go bye-bye. Maybe it is completely gone, isn't it? Like Keith's cellulitis gone, Guillain-Barré. It's crazy, isn't it? I know. So weird. People are aging backwards when you control these things. But that was just the breakfast part. So now that you've seen that breakfast is a shite show, let me ask you another question. What do you think the number one fast food restaurant on the planet is? We're going to have some fun this morning. Go ahead and put that one in chat. I was totally wrong on this one. Dr. Robert Lustig. This guy is super smart. He went to MIT for his undergrad degree, Cornell to get his doctorate of medicine. He's a lawyer, attorney. It's one of the different, I don't remember which, but he's in law. And he's doing this to go after some of these companies that have hoodwinked and lied to all you. Now, that's what I said. I said the McNasties, right? This is pretty fascinating, though. My wife pointed this out. I was in Germany a couple months ago speaking and being taught to. And it was pretty crazy. Over there, she goes, honey, did you notice? And her name's Honest Fiber. She's an occupational therapist. And she was telling me, she goes, sweetheart, she goes, in Europe, they actually tax the bread of the Way of Sub Company as sugar because there's more sugar in it than actual bread. There's also this other substance that they put in the bread that fluffs it up. That's also put in yoga mats. When it's cooked, it turns into carcinogen. And the chicken is not even fully chicken. It's only 42% chicken. It's mostly soy filler. Weird. But anyway, the number one fast food restaurant on the planet is not the Arches. It's not the McNasties. I stole that from somebody else. I was dying when they said this to me. But they do love it, don't they? And I do too, Diamond. I'm the same way, right? And we're going to show you how to, if you eat it, how to to wrap it and protect yourself from it. But here's what happens, right? The number one fast food restaurant, Dr. Lustig points out, is our public schools. Yes, it is our national food program. 45 million of these meals are served to our children every single day. 29% of the kids start off with a bowl in the morning, break fast, of loops of fruit, neurotoxic stuff, and then they wash it down with a glass of diabetes. What do you give a diabetic to drink when their blood sugar's too low? Would you guys all put that in the chat for me? Now, when God creates a carbohydrate, God wraps it in fiber. I used to make cold pressed juice at home. I used to make smoothies. I made cold pressed juice to maintain the enzymes to get the most nutritional value out of it, right? And I came to the final epiphany that, my God, if God wanted me drinking juice or making smoothies, it'd be hanging in the tree like that. Does that make sense? And so when God makes these carbohydrates, he wraps them in fiber. So if you're walking through the woods and you actually find a crab apple tree, that's a real apple. It's very small, the apples. They're very tart because there's low sugar and it's very high fiber. Why? Because when fiber, if a diabetic ate a piece of fruit versus drinking the juice, which one causes the blood sugar to go higher? Eating the fruit or drinking the juice? And if your blood sugar goes higher, do you need to inject more or less insulin? Now, if you're not diabetic like myself and you eat the fruit, right, you keep your blood sugar lower. Never eat fruit first and never eat it as a snack. It's the worst thing, one of the worst things you could do, just so you guys all know, okay? Eat it at the end of your meal, and I'm going to show you the science of why this works later if you're going to have them, okay? I'm not anti them. I just want to show you how to use them more strategically. Does that make sense? So watch what happens. Right? If I'm not diabetic and I eat the fruit, my blood sugar stays lower. When blood sugar stays lower, insulin stays lower. And when insulin is low, if you follow me, when insulin's low, what's got to go? Put that in the chat, would you? Now, this is why when diabetics start to inject, their waistline starts to expand. And if you're not diabetic and you've noticed your waistline's expanding, you're insulin resistant. Yeah. And we'll show you how to reset all of that. Naturally. Crazy, isn't it? I know. And I'm going to show you tons and tons of proof. Madison, what's up, beautiful? So now that you're seeing this, right? Well, how did this happen to our food? Has anyone out there ever served in the military? If you have, thank you. And you probably heard or consumed of MREs. If you've ever heard of MREs, feel free to put MRE in the chat. Now, Dr. Lustig goes through this history lesson, and he points out that in the early 1900s, there was a lot of food spoilage. So that's not good for business, nor the consumption by us as the public. So they started taking the fiber out of the food. Now, as they took the fiber out of the food, the shelf life of the food would go up. But so did blood sugar, so did insulin. And well, when that happens, they know this unequivocally. Thank you for the love. Your life goes down. Yeah. So in the 60s, they got really smart. I used to make cold pressed juice at home, my poor wife. I would take bags of vegetables, okay? And I mean bags of vegetables. And most people, when they think of fiber, they think it's for pooping, right? That's the smallest component, I'll show you. But that's a big misconception, but it does absolutely help you, right? But I'm going to show you really what it does here in a second. Pay attention. Now, here's what happens, right? When I made these bags of veggies, I took bags and I had that much juice out of this much bags of veggies. Now, the reason I use vegetables, there's lower sugar content, okay? So, and that's why, all right, I use them because sugar feeds all disease, just so you guys are clear, okay? So when I did this, I took the pulp and the fiber and I threw it on my garden. Has anyone else ever done this? If so, do me a favor and just give me a high five, right? And when you threw the pulp or the fiber on the garden, didn't the garden grow? Now, what's in the pulp, the fiber, is polyphenols, polysterols. Sterol sounds like cholesterol. Guess what reduces your cholesterol in proper ratios is fiber. Guess what they've taken out of your food? When you consume enough fiber, it lowers your cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, all those things. We'll show you. Weird. But anyway, they took that out. And how many of you have heard of modified food starch? If you have, put MFS in the chat for modified food starch. Walter, stop it. Come here. You two are knuckleheads. Come here. You're so tough. So tough as soon as I go on a live, aren't you? I know. I know. Can you chill out? This is Walter. He wants to say hi. You say hi. Can you say hi? Huh? You will be good. Can you be quiet? This is the one that snores all the time. But modified food starch, the average American consumes anywhere between 60 pounds to 275 pounds of this per year. Depends upon what documentation that you read. And it actually spikes your blood sugar higher than table sugar. Any diabetics out there ever told to consume a piece of toast for breakfast? Put a D-toast in the chat. Let me show you something. If you're diabetic and you eat eggs for breakfast, your blood sugar stays stable. If your blood sugar stays stable, do you have to inject more or less insulin? If you add toast, your blood sugar goes up, doesn't it? Now, if it goes up, do you need to inject more or less insulin? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Are you guys getting it? Oh, we're going to break this down for you, I promise. So anyway, now what happens? Okay, well, modified starch has no flavor, no taste. It's a filler. It's a bulking agent. And they put it all back in the food. It's called modified starch, food starch, tapioca starch, brown rice starch. There's all kinds of names for it. But it's a filler. And when they started doing this to your food and my food in the 60s, before I was even born, well, blood sugar started to skyrocket and type 2 diabetes went up 7-fold. Anybody on here notice that when someone starts to inject insulin, that their waistline starts to get bigger? If you've seen that and you or a loved or family, go ahead and put it in the chat for me, would you? Now, if you've noticed this, now when you start to inject insulin, medical research shows, it triples the risk of cardiovascular disease. It doubles the risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. Now, if you're a type 1 diabetic, thank God for insulin or you would die. But you want to keep insulin usage as low as possible, even if you're not diabetic, guys. And let me show you why. When you keep insulin low, you keep insulin sensitive, and it works really efficiently and quickly as it should. But they've got you eating all day long, and I'll show you how and why. We're going to show you the connections to blood pressure and cholesterol, all the stuff you've been told, and we'll show you how to correct it all. And if what you're doing is so effective and what you've been taught to do so effective, why do meds and all these things continue to rise more and more? Why do you got to refill them every month? Are you guys getting it? Crazy, isn't it? And so how many diabetics on here do we have? And how long have you been under managed care? Would you put that in the chat just in years for me? I just want everybody to see how you're being managed. Does that make sense? Okay. And I'll show you what we do with people. It's really crazy. And many of you have been able to reverse that, even though it's genetic, you've been told, right? How many of you have been told this stuff's genetic, right? I know, it's crazy, isn't it? 25 years for Keith. Keith, you actually reversed it. John was 25 years under managed care. He reversed it. Chopper was 6 years under managed care. He reversed it. These are just a few people we work with. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That's a lot of if they fix you, do you have to come back for care? I'm just asking. I know, laugh out loud, right, man? That's what they tell them, though. And they get these poor people believing that stuff's genetic too, right? And here's what we do, right? So now that you're seeing this, when they added this in, obesity went up 7-fold. What is the number one organ in your body that detoxifies your body? Would you guys all put that in the chat for me? Now, this right here is that organ we're going to talk about as you guys fill in the answer. This is going to represent that organ. Cleopatra, I love your name. That's true. That's correct. It's your liver. Now, if this is the liver and the water in here is represented by sugar, and every time that you and I eat food, the food that we consume is converted into sugar. Now, maybe you're not eating. I used to drink black coffee in the morning. And on an empty stomach, and that can spike cortisol. I've switched since, but let's just say that maybe you're waking up and having a latte or a cream of, a coffee with cream of latte. You guys get it? And so you wake up, and this is every time you eat, your body converts the food into sugar. Or if you're drinking stuff like juice, you're just shoving that in there. Maybe you're drinking some made of coffee. Every meal you eat, every snack you take. You guys get it? Boom, boom. And they need you to eat all day long. Remember, until you fall off the ceiling. Now, you keep doing this, right? And let me show you what happens. You keep eating and you keep pouring the sugar in, and you keep doing this, and boom, 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 boom. Eventually, you fill up this liver. Now, when you fill up this liver, this is known as a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Has anyone heard of NAFLD? And if you have, you can put NAFLD in the chat. Now, don't worry, they've changed the name to NASH and MASH. And Dr. Lustig points out that we're finding this condition in our children under 3 years of age. There's a new condition now being diagnosed called non-alcoholic or fatty pancreatic disease. You guys get it? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And this is what keeps happening. And so all of a sudden, how many of you have heard of atherosclerosis? If you have, put ATH in the chat. Atherosclerosis is, you ever see when they make they take creme brulee, they make a creme brulee? Creme brulee is when they blowtorch sugar and it turns the blood vessels into like glass. You don't want your blood vessels to be glass. They're easy to rupture and pop. And they're finding atherosclerosis in your 10-year-olds. So if you're over 10 and feeding them, you guys getting it? So this is what happens. Now, this right here is a damaged artery, and we don't want triglycerides because what happens when you fill the liver up with sugar, starts to develop triglycerides. This is your damaged blood vessel, and now you're pouring triglycerides, LDL, VLDL, lipoprotein B back into a damaged blood vessel, which causes increased cardiovascular disease. Anybody heard of coronary artery disease? You can put CAD in the chat. That goes up 43% when you're insulin resistant. Weird. Now, when they filled this stuff up, our food, with modified food starch, high fructose, all the added sugar, fatty liver disease in the 70s went up 400 times. Your blood work started to turn into high triglycerides, VLDL, lipoprotein B, LDL, and low HDL. Who's got blood work like that around town? Go ahead and put BW in the chat. And this just keeps happening. And don't worry, they'll always come out with a solution for you, I promise. Now, also in the 70s, when cholesterol became a thing, so did Alzheimer's and dementia. We'll show you what's really causing that too. And so now, is this making too much sense or what? And so we're going to show you how to correct that. And when you fix the root cause, this goes away. Is anybody on here doing what I've been sharing? The reset, the three-step reset. Have you been able to reduce and manage your cholesterol naturally and your blood sugar? If so, put that in the chat in your numbers, would you? I like to share by the truth. We can measure what we teach you guys. It's really crazy. Not speculation, just the truth. And what I'm going to show you is actually in the same book your doctor would recommend drugs from, just so you guys know. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, and where to find it. But anyway, so now that you guys are seeing this, how did this all happen to our food? Let me show you a deep dive. I'm going to go off the page a second, and I'm going to need you to pay attention, okay? I'm going to show you how Truman-wived, Stepford wives we've all become. How many of you remember Camel cigarettes? If you do, put a Camel in the chat. My father used to smoke those things, right? And I'm going to show you how we don't buy things logically. We buy them emotionally, but we justify them logically. Pay attention. I'm going to throw some jingles out there. Please do me a favor. Just go ahead and put this in the chat. Because the best part of waking up. How do you spell relief? I mean, Winston tastes good like a what? You can't have just one. I mean, they do get wrong. And once you pop, you can't. You guys remember all these, don't you? Let me show you. You see, you remember the guy's name Plato, kind of a famous philosopher? He said, those that tell stories will rule the world. Now, Solomon said, where there's no vision, that the people will perish. They create a little electromagnetic idiot box called television. They tell you there's paid programming. Who do you think's paying for it? And there's a broadcast. What is a cast? It's a form. They're forming your reality. Jesus said, you have eyes to see and you see not. You have ears to hear and hear not. You must see with your inner eye of understanding. Jesus also said, those that gain more shall retain any. From him who had not shall be taken away that which he has. If you understand, when they manipulate the data, which they do all the time, you'll see right through it. See, they don't call it non-alcoholic fatty liver anymore. They call it NASH and MASH. That's called reclassification. Many of you might be old enough to remember this. How many of you remember the oleo of Poe disease? Where they would put you in an iron lung and all these things. Go look up the side effects of that thing and compare it with another modern disease they call Guillain-Barré. Guillain-Barré. They have the same side effects and symptoms. Weird. It's called reclassification. They just repackage the same thing and sell it to you with a different bow on it. And people never read history books, and don't worry, they're really good at erasing history and getting you to want to do it because you can't learn from it. As Socrates said, he said, read the books of men that come by difficult things, and it will make your life much simpler. That's a little bastardization, but you guys get the point. And so anyway, let's take a look, shall we? When they did these things, there were some companies out there. And when they make adverts, in Europe, they call them adverts because it adverts, changes your attention. Yeah. They like to drop lures all over the place because people are like goldfish. They can't focus on anything. This is why I do this live every day to help you guys understand, just so you know, because I know how doctrinated everybody is because they know how to program you. But I'll show you. And the word ment means mind. Govern means control. They're always sharing with you what they're doing to you, but I promise you it's for your best. It's for your good. Anyway, so remember when they would show the man and the woman walking down the street in these little commercials when we were little kids and they were holding hands in love? See, when they make an advert, they always do the advertisement in smacks and food because that creates life. It's primitive. It's primal. It's built in you. You don't have to have the birds and the bees conversation. Your kids figure it out. But anyway, they would do this and they would show the man and the woman walking down the street. My father smoked Camels. I said, Dad, at 4 years old, I said, Dad, what does a camel have to do with these things? He said, nothing, son. Well, remember I said it doesn't matter logically. It's emotional. Let me show you. So when you would see people walking down the street in love enough, and then you would see them in the boys' room. I mean, we write songs about it, right? Let me show you. Once you see the image enough and add enough sensation and vibration and emotion to it, it creates what's called a paradigm. A paradigm is a fixed program in your subconscious mind that controls all of your unconscious behavior. They know what you will do before you do it, just so you know. And they know this. And let me show you. Have you noticed the new commercials for loss of weight where they have you guys, inject, and they're never telling you any of the side effects, which, wow, wait till you see some of the suits of law coming out. It's crazy. God bless. But anyway, I'll show you how to make your own GLP-1 natural if you stick around. And if you guys have questions and have to leave, private message me. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. But what they do is they show these people that are 300 and 400 pounds, God bless them. And they're running through the streets and they're singing and they're dancing. Guys, when I looked like this, I didn't sing and run and dance when I was 50 pounds overweight through the streets. Do you? And so they know that once you do this enough and see this enough, that you will know, you'll anchor this to the hump. You got lucky. That was another one, wasn't it, of these? That is pretty cool. And if you're a real man, you do it without the filter now, don't you? Crazy, isn't it? Denise, hello, beautiful. Oh, did you guys catch that? Why am I telling you this stuff? How many of you are old enough to remember the warning label on the boxes? Go ahead and put warning in the chat. They even told you that it was not good for you, and yet people still do this because it's logical. I'm asking for a friend. And why am I telling you this? They even have the candy versions for wee kids. They used to have a commercial in the 40s. You can go look this up. Do not trust me, by the way. Go do your own advocating for your family, okay? I'm just a vessel for God. I should have died twice, and I'm here only because he showed me that piece of the puzzle that I finally put together. And 25 years every day of my life studying like a maniac, trying to figure out why when you hold your best friend's son's body as he's dying from cancer at 14 years of age, and you hear his mother screaming and crying, and a month before he passes, your father-in-law comes to you with pancreatic, and you're like, what is going on? That was 20-something years ago. And I hear that all the time. That's why I'm so passionate. That's why I come here every day, because I'm sick of watching people struggle and suffer, and they have no clue why, and they're not getting any answers anywhere. And I'm not blaming doctors for this shite show, guys. When doctors go to school, who's paying for the curriculum? Who alters? Who owns the curriculum? Ask questions. They tell you not to ask questions, right? The Bible says you have not, for you ask not. You should question every freaking thing. Okay? And so this is what happens over and over again, right? And so now these companies, there was a commercial in the 40s, ask your doctor which one of these that they actually recommend. I'm not making this up. In the late 1800s, these things were proposed to cure, not making this up, throat and lung, the C disease that goes uncontrolled cell growth, and asthma. Go look it up. It's really interesting, but the very logo of the A, of the M, of the A, it has a snake on it, just so you guys all know. I guess the oil depends upon which snake's selling it now, doesn't it? Are you guys getting it? It's pretty deep, isn't it? It's a hell of a rabbit hole, just so you know. You guys ready? I'm going to spin your freaking minds. Hope you're ready. So now watch what happens. So these consumption goes up. These companies are like, wow, we've got the answer. Dr. Lustig talks about this. And you're probably thinking, why is he talking to me about smoking and cigarettes when he's talking about insulin resistance? Let me show you. You see, they took rats that were addicted to an illegal non-taxable substance. It was called a street drug. It was cane of co, and the rats were highly addicted to it. They put another powdery white substance in the water supply, knowing eventually the rats would become thirsty. Do you guys know what that white powdery substance was? If you do, put it in the chat. And when you consume this stuff, it makes you eat more frequently. It makes you eat more. So therefore, it would make you maybe smoke more, right? Watch this. Now, rats, they don't care more about rats than you and I. It's just rats don't live as long as you and I. And so if this is a timeline when they would make drugs, okay, only pharmaceuticals could do this because you needed $2 billion over 2 decades ago to make them. This is your 10-year R&D, research development timeline. So let's say this is year 0. This is year 10. At year 1, you have side effects and symptoms. You guys all do know that there's not a medication without a side effect and symptom. Do you guys know this? Is this making sense? Give me a high five. You guys are following me. And so in year 1, you already know it's coming out. Year 2, year 3. So they know the playbook before they release you guys get it? And do they call it fixed care or do they call it managed care? You guys can put that in the chat. And the more stuff you got going on, the more they got to manage, don't they? You guys start with one thing and then you end up with a higher dose and then adding another and another and another and another. It's always interesting when I explain this, how the rhythm of the algo goes down. Wait till I go over cholesterol and blood pressure here in a little bit. It's really fascinating to me. Oh, I love what I do. I love waking people up. It's what God designed me to do. Oh, we got another nudie person. Got to get them out of here. So, see, it's so funny. I've got to be so backwards and all this stuff in my stuff, and they just have trash nudie people putting stuff all over the lives. That should tell you all you need to know, right? But anyway, let's get diving, shall we? So now they had the playbook. It was sugar. Yes, that's what caused the rats to actually be more addicted, hit dopamine pleasure centers 8 times more powerfully than the street drug. And then you know what they did? This is really fascinating. So then they started to ask, how do we get this into our products? They started to grow sugar in the soil. They started to aspirate sugar from above and into the leaves, and consumption went up. Now, many of you might be old enough to remember the warning label on the box. If you do, you can put warning in the chat. Hey, Mark, what's up, brother? And so consumption went up. They thought, wait a minute, you've got to be 18 years of age to use these. Right? I know, me too, man. I was totally, and addicted to those things. And so then they said, well, man, why are we selling these? What do people need to do every day? Well, they've been told they need to eat and drink. Those companies that made these things pivoted and bought your food and beverage. And now you have 262 different names for sugar that's in your food. Yeah, 262. How many of you have heard of high fructose corn syrup? If you have, put HFCS in the chat. High fructose corn syrup, along with alcohol, and along with fructose found in fruit, all goes directly to your liver. Now, that's why they call it non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Are you guys getting that? Now, when they did this, fructose and high fructose corn syrup caused the cells in our body to age 7 to 8 times faster than glucose. Glucose is essential. Fructose and high fructose corn syrup is not. 100 years ago, people consumed as much sugar in their entire life as your and my children do today by the time they've turned 8 years of age. For the first time in human history, our children are supposed to live a shorter life expectancy than what we are. Not under my watch. I will do everything within my power to help people understand, right? And the Bible tells you, if you love your children, show them the way, give them the rod. And if you don't, you'll let them be, and they'll inherit this for their children's children. Are you guys getting it? Dr. Dieter in the house. You guys all want to follow this guy, Dr. He's got a science call tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you guys would like information, he's an internal medicine doctor. He's amazing. He's going to be presenting all the deep dive science on this stuff. Just private message me science. I'd be happy to get you guys the information for that. He does these Sundays and Monday nights and Thursdays at noon. Dr. Dieter, thank you so much, brother. God bless you. I'll get that to you later. Okay, stud? God bless you. And so here's what happens. Are you guys ready? Check this out. So now consumption went up, right? Fructose, high fructose corn syrup causes the cells in our body to age 7 to 8 times faster. How many of you remember, let me show you, I opened my clinic in 2003. Does anyone remember they used to call diabetes late adult onset diabetes? Jenny, I'm so proud of you. Jenny, I mean, if you remember late adult onset diabetes, put late in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Jenny, I'm so proud of you. I mean, what are you down now, 40, 50 pounds? Completely reset your cholesterol panel. Your menopause symptoms are gone. Inflammation's gone. Tooth sensitivity gone, I think, right? Crazy. I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. But they used to call it late. Now that then Dr. Pierre, this is Natasha Pierre, incredible lady. She's a pediatrician. This was her under managed care. And with this was her. She had IBS. This is her, I think it was 3 months, on the 3-step reset. No longer has that. She's the one who referred Dr. Dieter to me, right? But anyway, she pointed out to me that then they started calling diabetes juvenile diabetes. Now they call it childhood diabetes. They just keep moving the buck back, don't they? Well, I guess if things make you age faster, that would make sense. Now, how many of you remember obesity just being called obesity? Because it was really rare when we were growing up. But now they call it childhood obesity. Weird, isn't it? So, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you want to learn how to burn fat for fuel? If you do me a favor and just put FB in the chat for me. I'm going to show you. It's really simple. It doesn't make it easy because, well, they know how to make you crave what they want you to crave. It's really incredible science what they've created. But if you want to learn how to burn fat, let me show you how to do it. It's really simple. And we're going to go through this in detail, I promise you. All right. Let's say that we all ate our last meal yesterday at 6 p.m., just for simple mathematical purposes. Now, this varies due to what you eat, how much you eat, and the type of food you ate, right? How healthy you are or not. But at around 2 in the morning, your glucose, known as fasting sugar, right, is low. Your body's burned it all off. Now, our brain is about 2% of our body weight, medical research shows. And it uses 30% of your metabolic energy or your output, and 25% of the cholesterol in your body is in your brain. I'm saying that to make a point. Pay attention. Now, with this, when you've burned all the energy off, where does the body get fuel? It's not waking up at 2 in the morning and eating, right? So where's the fuel coming from? When your sugar's low, your insulin's low. When insulin's low, what's gotta go? Put that in the chat for me, would you? Now, all that fat is stored fuel. And the way you drop this is by dropping insulin. When you turn insulin down and off, you burn fat for fuel. But when you turn it on by eating all day long, you're telling your body to store. Okay, now watch. We're going to show you how to burn this and build this. These are both 5 pounds. This one takes up a lot more space, doesn't it? Weird. Now, how many of you have heard of ketones? And if you have, put ketones in the chat. Ketones are the preferred fuel source of your brain and nerve system. They reduce inflammation. Sugar causes inflammation. Ketones are neuroprotective and regenerative. Yeah. They stimulate brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's actually what grows new brain tissues and cells, unlike sugar that destroys it all. Weird. I mean, I wonder why they put this in everything and they tell you to not consume fat and cholesterol. Has anybody out here been told to eat low amounts of fat and cholesterol to live a long life? Put F and C in the chat. So eat low amounts of the things that cause reduction of inflammation and eat the things that have nothing but inflammation factors in them. Makes total sense for business and industry now, doesn't it? It's crazy. And maybe look at who's funding the companies or the associations, the people that are giving you the advice of what to do. It's pretty fascinating when you go look up who's funding them. As Jerry would say, show me the, did he say, no, he said money, I'm sorry. But anyway, so yeah, BDNF, right? Crazy. But anyway, I digress. Now, how do you make see, your brain can't burn fat. It's got to burn ketones. And guess what makes ketones? Your liver. And so guess what they tell you to eat first thing in the morning? Fruit, fructose. Goes to your liver, it's already plugged up. And the more plugged up your liver is, the harder it is to make ketones. Anybody on here getting brain fog all the time? Go ahead and put BF in the chat for brain fog, would you? Let me show you why. Your brain can't store fuel. Okay? And so when you're eating, even though you're eating less calories and you're eating more frequently, you're keeping insulin levels elevated all day. And when you keep insulin high, you know what happens, people? You can't make ketones when insulin's high. Medical research shows it, right? And so what happens? So now you just ate and you're like, God, why am I hungry again? Why am I tired? I just ate. I should have fuel, right? No, that's why. And this is what happens. So now you're storing and insulin's pulling the sugar out of the bloodstream. And so you can't get sugar to the brain and you can't make ketones to fuel the brain. Do I have any healthcare providers on here? If I do, put HCP in the chat. Here's how powerful sugar is at destroying your system. If a diabetic goes into a coma, and they are picked up, God bless them, by the paramedics. Paramedics won't even call the hospital, and they'll inject them with a glucose solution, won't they, treat? And if they miss the blood vessel or blow it up, that sugar solution will actually rot and necrotize the tissue. That is how corrosive sugar is. This is why when you eat certain foods and your blood sugar spikes, insulin yanks it out. You ever see a kid when you give them crackers, something you don't think is sugar, and they get all this energy and they crash really quick? That's because their insulin is so sensitive, it soaks it out of the bloodstream. Because when you have sugar in the bloodstream, it glycates and destroys tissue. Is this making sense? By the way, any life insurance agents out there, you guys know what day the person's going to die based on their blood work. You don't give a life insurance policy without blood work, do you? Put LIA in the chat if I'm telling the truth. Guys, they unequivocally know. Those companies are the biggest buildings downtown in all your cities. They don't lose money. Are you guys following me? Is this making sense so far? Okay. If so, give me a thumbs up. Now, I'm going to show you right now why these food companies, when you guys go out to eat, how many of you like a bread basket or maybe some chips? If you guys like bread baskets or chips to start your meal, do me a favor and just put chips in the chat, because I love those things, right? Love it, Ron. If you have any questions, brother, please feel free to reach out. Thank you. But let me show you why they start you like this. When you eat carbohydrates, okay, those are carbs, not wrapped in fiber, made by man. That's what I call carbohydrates. Okay, 90% converts into sugar. That's in an hour to two. How many of you remember the pyramid of food? You guys remember this? You can put FP for food pyramid in the chat. How many servings did they tell us to eat a day of what? The lowest part on the totem pole, the biggest part, they told you to eat 6 to 11 servings of what a day? And what do you feed cows to fatten up cows? Are you guys getting it? So when you guys eat these grains, right? What do they call hard liquor? What do they call the belly you get when you drink too much beer? And what's all that stuff made from? You guys get that? These are not essential, by the way. These essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, you can consume both of these and completely live and create glucose. It's called gluconeogenesis. Yeah. There's groups of people they've known for 112 years that never ate carbs, only ate fat and proteins, had zero cardiovascular disease, Zero C disease, uncontrolled cell growth. So what do? They re-engineer it. Let me ask you a question. One of my patients, she had a refrigerator that was 65 years old, still working. Do you think the engineering 65 years ago was better than it is today? Or do you think maybe they've engineered it to maybe do certain things, die sooner? What do you think? You guys is this a fixed system or is it a broke system? What do you think? They call it managed care, people. I hope you're waking up. You guys getting it? Hello, Angel. So when you guys eat those chips, once you pop, you can't, and they guarantee how many you can't have. Just what? And so now you eat, look at this. If you eat carbs, that happens within the hour. And you eat desserts when you're stressed. Stressed, spelled backwards, is desserts. And that increases cortisol. Now, look at what happens in proteins, and then fat barely spikes your blood sugar. Diabetics, if your blood sugar looked like this, would you have to inject more or less insulin? You guys getting it? How many of you diabetics, they tell you to wake up and eat toast? Go ahead and put a D toast in the chat. So you blow up the blood sugar from the beginning. Higher the blood sugar goes, do you have to inject more or less insulin? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You guys get it? Now watch. How many of you have been told to stay away from the yolk of an egg? Put yolk in the chat. Isn't that interesting, Amy? It's crazy, isn't it? So the yolk, right? Do you know that if you eat one yolk, one whole egg a week, medical research shows that you reduce Alzheimer's by 47%. That's because the yolk has, choline in it, which is the precursor to acetylcholine, which protects the hippocampal areas in your brain. And when you eat a yolk with the egg totally, it's the perfect fat to protein ratio and your blood sugar stays very low and stable. And if it's stable, do you have to inject more or less insulin? That's why when you become diabetic, your cardiovascular risk goes up 80%, Alzheimer's dementia goes up 81%, just so you guys all know. That's all medical research. That's not me just telling you guys stuff, just so you know. Now, by the way, it is. Yes, it is, Jenny. And by the way, also, how many of you know that there's a lot of B vitamins in the yolk that's great for your brain and neurological development? I mean, it does make a baby chicken. And many of you are probably getting neuropathy and neuralgia, aren't you? If you are, you're probably on something that brings down your blood sugar. It's called metformin, or you're on something that brings down your cholesterol. Those are both linked to demyelination and low B vitamins. So you start to get neuropathy and neuralgia. Sound familiar out there? Just saying for a friend. It's weird when you have somebody who can piece all this together. Isn't it fascinating how I'm defining all of you? You find that fascinating? By the way, also, you know what else happens? I forgot to mention there's tryptophan in the yolk. And tryptophan's a precursor to to serotonin. And serotonin is our happy hormone. And when you actually feed the gut tryptophan, 95% of the serotonin is made in the gut. And if you don't make it, then you get anxiety and depression, which is why they call those medications SSRIs. Does anybody know people on antidepressants out there? Those drugs are known as SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Yeah, weird. How many of you have been doing what I've been teaching with the 3-step reset? And all of your mood's much better. You can put mood better in the chat for you, your family, your friends. My daughter's mood, she's 13, is incredible now. It's so much better. Wish I'd known that sooner, huh? But anyway, so here's the order you eat your food. And if you eat it in this order, medical research shows that you'll actually lower your blood sugar by 75%, medical research shows. Wonder why you've not heard of that. So you can eat the same food and change the order. Here's what you do. We teach people to start your meal with a soluble, insoluble fiber matrix. It keeps your blood sugar lower when you eat by almost half, by 43%. We even do this with type 1 diabetics. Let me show you. This is my beautiful mama. My mom has renal cell carcinoma, kidney cancer. This was her 4 years ago. That's her kidney function under managed care, 23%. It's now 56%. That was in 2 months. This is my mom last November. Her cholesterol panel is perfect for the first time in 40 years. They told her she had genetic triglyceride issues. That's weird because it went down 250 points doing the 3-step reset. She plays pickleball 3 to 4 times a week. Now, if you saw this woman right here go from this to this, would all of you ask her what she had done? If you would, just put a question mark in the chat. Now, she's telling my own cousin, I don't really know. Her name's Metabolic Master now on TikTok. Metabolic Master is a type 1, type 2 diabetic. Let me show you her before and after. This is my own cousin. She was a double diabetic right here. She reversed type 2, but now this is her. She's down 79% less in her insulin doing what we show. I'm going to let you guys hear from her just to show you what we're doing with the type 1. So imagine if you're a type 2 or you're not a diabetic, what can happen when you understand this stuff and learn how to control this. Watch this. Let me show you guys how you're not being taught this stuff for a specific reason. This is my cousin. Where's it at? Right. Sorry, guys. I got to get something. There we go.
My results have been crazy incredible over the last 3.5 weeks. Cousin Lana, who is Dr. Kenny's mom, said, you gotta talk to Kenny about this. I was very, very skeptical. I'm a type 1 diabetic and 60, but I've been on the program for 3.5 weeks. I've reduced my insulin from 58 units or more a day down to 22. I no longer have to take insulin before I eat.
Weird, isn't it? So what do we do with you with food order, right? Let me show you. You start with the fiber matrix to keep the blood sugar levels lower. That way your insulin stays lower and insulin stays sensitive. Then what we do is this. We have you eat fat and protein, right? How many of you have been told to stay away from red meat? It's bad for your cholesterol. Put RM in the chat. Guys, red meat is phenomenal for you. It's incredible. Cattle have they're remnant animals. They have multiple pouches in their stomach. They take what's left of nutrients and minerals in the soil and pull it out. Wait till they go over blood pressure with you and cholesterol. And then you know what else they do? They also are great at getting rid of the toxins. I used to eat a lot of deer from up in the UP. They taste very gamey, very low grain. But the ones down in the mitten, there was tons of freaking grain. And they taste very like, guess what? Beef that you've had. They tell you not to eat this stuff. Now eat grass-finished beef. It is phenomenal. Your blood sugar stays lower. If you're eating grain, grain is what they feed cows to fatten up cows, isn't it? Do you guys get it? And if it fattens up a cow, what do you think it's doing to you guys? It's crazy, isn't it? Weird. So weird. Now watch what else happens, right? So now, all of a sudden, once I'm done with that and my protein and fat, I eat my carbs last. Let me show you why. When are carbohydrates available in nature? They're available when? At the end of summer and the end of fall. And remember, things that spike your blood sugar spike insulin. And when they spike your blood sugar, like carbs, like berries and root vegetables, that's all you can find in nature. The only carb in nature not wrapped in fiber was honey. And look at this. And that causes fat storage. So when a bear eats a lot of berries, berries are sugar and it stimulates insulin. This is a key fob. I want you to think of this key fob like insulin. And what happens is when you spike blood sugar, you hit insulin. So if we're at your car, right, okay, sugar causes the highest blood sugar spike. And now you just opened up all 4 doors of the car, the hood and the trunk, and all those are wide open to put all of the nutrients and stuff back in the car. How many of you are exhausted and tired? Put tired in the chat. This is why you're all tired. But here's what happens. If you eat protein first, protein is middle of the road. It's kind of like you open 2 doors, right? Fat barely opens a door and fiber doesn't open it at all. Now, the bear is not going to eat for months because they're hibernating. When does your body heal? Would you put that in the chat for me? Are you guys following this? Now watch what happens. When blood sugar is low, insulin's low. And when insulin's low, what's got to go? And when your insulin's low, your immune system and reproductive hormones are high. If you ever watch Star Wars, right, or Star Trek, they would always say when they were getting shot at, they would say, put the energy on the rear deflector. This is what your body does. When you turn on digestion, you turn off, or down, I should say, not off, but down your immune system and reproductive system. Do you guys get it? So you want to eat fiber, fats, and proteins in that order, and then carbohydrates last. And never, ever, ever eat carbs naked. Never eat processed carbs without fiber, ever. Okay? Now, that'll reduce your blood sugar spikes by 75%. If you reduced your blood sugar spikes by 75%, would you have to inject more or less insulin, diabetics? Are you guys getting it? When you're done eating, non-negotiable, go for a 10-minute walk. This will soak up another 35 to 40% of the sugar. And what that's going to do, it's going to soak it up into your muscle. So you have to, when you soak it up in the muscle, you don't have to fire off insulin. So your insulin levels stay less and they stay more sensitive. Now, I highly recommend you lift weights. If you can't lift weights, Linda on here, God bless you, Linda. I'm so proud of you. This is my friend Linda that I've met through this. And Linda, how many of you guys have heard of gastric sleeve surgery? This is what Linda had. Linda also had another condition called eczema. She couldn't even stand up. She was so inflamed after the surgery. This was managed care. She also had this issue so bad she could barely move her fingers. So Linda had to start where she was. She was able to control insulin, and now she's 2 inches smaller than she was in her wedding dress 35 years ago. And Linda, how's your eczema doing? Is it almost gone? I know the last time I spoke to you, it was almost 100% gone, right? It's crazy, isn't it? No, I'm going to show you how to do all that kind of stuff, guys. You've all been lied to. It's very obvious, but you guys make that choice for yourself. Now, let me show you some other things that happens. So now what you want to do when you get done lifting weights, your body's under stress, cortisol's elevated. That's a good thing. Cortisol keeps you alive, but we want to get it down. How does your body get cortisol down? Your cortisol reduces when you feel safe. So go for a walk. And that walk will tell your body, you don't walk unless you're safe. When does a lion do, right? Oh, Vino, I'm so proud of you. Private message me. I'd love to hear from you. But now what happens, guys, is I'm going to show you guys now. And if you guys are just coming on, if you want my food order video, private message me food order. I'll be happy to get you that video, okay? Just private message me food order. Now, also, you want to go for walks and turn your head back and forth. This will shut down the amygdala. That is the reptilian part, the emotional part of your brain. It'll turn on your frontal lobe, okay? So now I'm going to need some help from some diabetics out there, okay? So here's what I want you guys to do. How many of you are sick and tired of being on this roller coaster ride like this? If you're tired of having your blood sugar like a roller coaster, do me a big favor and put RC in the chat for me, would you please? Okay? Sorry, I'm writing my wife a note. I'm leaving town tomorrow to go to Dayton, Ohio. I'm speaking. So now, diabetics out there, how many years have you guys been diabetics under managed care? Would you guys all put that in the chat? I just want to see how many people we have in here that are diabetics. Because I'm going to show you how you're being managed instead of, well, getting rid of it. Does that make sense? 20 years, 15 years. Wow. 2, okay? Are you guys getting it? It's crazy, isn't it? 18. I just want you guys to see all this. 45 years. It's crazy. Keith on here was 25-year diabetic. And Keith, you got off 108 units of insulin in 2 days doing what I share? And it took you, I think, 3 months through your doctors and all your blood work to get it, right? Denise, would you be open to learn how to reset it completely? Get rid of it? You guys stick around. I'm going to show you how to save your lives. You guys ready? So here's what happens, right? How many of you as diabetics have been told to eat 3 meals a day, 2 to 3 snacks a day? If you've been told to do that, put a D5 in the chat for me, would you? Now, understand that when you eat food, right, your blood sugar is going to go up. It depends on what you eat, how much you eat, all those kind of things. Does that make sense? Now, if you're not a diabetic like myself, your body's going to produce insulin to pull the blood sugar back down. Now, if you're a type 1 or type 2 diabetic, you're going to inject insulin to bring the blood sugar back down. Is this making sense? Now, riddle me this real quick. A type 1 diabetic doesn't make insulin or enough insulin. A type 2 diabetic made too much insulin. and they became insulin resistant and then pre-diabetic, well, and diabetic. The only thing they've got in common is neither one can control blood sugar. So why then do they both inject insulin? When one made too much and one, do they make money when you inject or when you don't, when you eat or when you don't? Are you guys getting it? Now, how many of you have heard of the American Heart? You know the association. If you know of them, put AHA in the chat for me, would you please, right? Now, the American Heart tells us to consume 60% of our daily intake of food should be carbohydrates. Go look up who funds them. I like to call those things crapohydrates, right? Now, sorry, I got to take out some trash here, just a second. Now, let me show you guys. Are you ready? Okay. Which overconsumption of which macronutrient causes diabetes? Is it eating too many fats, too many proteins, or too many carbohydrates? Would you guys all put that in the chat? Now, if you eat this way, and I do not care if you believe me or not, you don't have to believe in gravity, I always tell people, but if you fall, you will be exposed to gravity regardless of your beliefs. Does that make sense? So what happens, right? Research shows medically that if you become a diabetic, that cardiovascular disease risk goes up 80%. And yet that organization's guidelines that have been bought and paid for are telling you to consume 60% of your daily intake of food should be carbohydrates. Fascinating. Now, how many of you have ever seen the O's of Cheery box? And it tells you that it's, well, cholesterol and heart healthy approved. If you've seen this, put AHA with a thumbs up in the chat, right? You'll love this. And if I miss any questions, we go through this, just private message me. I'll be happy to, send you guys information, right? So now 1 serving size, which is a cup of carbohydrates, that says fiber has been stripped and removed, turns into 10 cubes of sugar. Now, nobody on here would eat this. It would make you vomit, but this is what it turns into. And it doesn't taste sweet going in, and there's no added sugar. Do you see the marketing? And so you eat this, and well, your blood sugar goes through the roof, right? At the morning, when you break your fast, when your insulin levels are low. And when insulin's low, what's got to go? Now, let me put this in perspective real quick. 1 to 2 out of 3 Americans die from cardiovascular disease. If that association ran a skydiving outfit, 1 out of 2 to 3 parachutes wouldn't open. Are you guys getting it? Now, how many of you on here are tired all the time? Do me a favor and put tired in the chat. Let me show you why you're all tired. And I'm going to show you why you're getting brain fog, right? When you eat food or you drink juice or sugar or you're doing these flavor water things, just so you know, you can actually not measure your serving size. And if it's under 5 calories, you can squirt that stuff in your water and it blows up your fast because you're not measuring. It's legal for them to do this. But every time you do this, you're spiking your blood sugar, which hits your insulin. And the average American eats 11 times a day. Boom, boom, aga, laga, laga, boom. Boom, boom, aga, laga, boom, boom. You guys remember the song? You fall on the floor, everybody snoring like a dinosaur. Well, when you blow out the battery in the key fob, you can't open the car. And now you're standing and you're holding all the nutrients and the food and the supplements, and your car is locked and you can't get the nutrients in. This is why you're exhausted. And the brain, because you're eating every couple of hours, you're keeping insulin levels elevated. And when you keep insulin elevated, even though you're eating less calories in food, insulin turns off ketone production, which is anti-inflammatory. So that's the primary fuel source of the brain. This is what you do while you sleep at night. Your body makes ketones. That's why you live. And so now all of a sudden, you're eating every couple hours. And insulin's pulling the sugar out of the food, out of the bloodstream that the food's been converted into. And now your brain's going, I just ate, but I'm hungry. I just ate, but I'm hungry. And you've got all this brain fog. If this is making sense, give me a high five, right? Sound familiar? And you're like, I just ate. Why am I tired? Because you blew out the battery. That's called insulin resistance. Now, if you're diabetic, you're exhausted. You've also got a disease. they've probably been diagnosed. How many of you got chronic fatigue? You see, when they give it a name, they've got a treatment for it. Are you guys getting it? Now, if you're diabetic, how many of you have been told not to fast? Do me a favor and put a D fast in the chat. Thank you guys for all joining. If you've heard of D, not fasting as diabetic, put D and fast in the chat. Let me show you how this works. So during the work week, you diabetics get up at 6 in the morning and you're exhausted, but you eat like you're told to do. And then you eat and take your stuff. And now you're on this blood sugar roller coaster like this all day long. How many of you guys are on that roller coaster? Maybe you're not diabetic, but you still feel like this all day. Go ahead and put RC for roller coaster in the chat. Now the weekend comes along and you're exhausted. You just told me this. So you decide you're going to sleep in till 10 a.m. and not set your alarm. But normally during the work week, you get up at 6. So if you slept until 10 and you didn't get up at 6 and eat, did you? I mean, go ahead. If you kept sleeping, put kept sleeping in the chat. Are you guys getting it? So if you went another 4 hours without eating food, that means that you went 4 hours without injecting and eating, which means, do those companies make money when you inject and take or when you don't, when you eat or when you don't? Are you guys getting it? Now that I've showed you that you're designed to fast, even if you're diabetic, weird, let's show you the real truth, right? How many of you diabetics have been told that you should probably eat toast for breakfast or some oats? If you've been told to do this, put a D oats or D toast in the chat. Real quick question. What do you feed horses to fatten up horses? You can put that in the chat if you'd like. You guys getting it? Now watch. So when you wake up in the morning, your insulin levels are low. And when insulin is low, what's got to go? You guys can put that in the chat. So you burn fat for fuel. It takes stress off your liver. Your liver starts to burn fat instead of storing fat. Fiber helps that too. We'll show you later. But anyway, if you're not eating, they ain't making. Are you guys? And you ain't taking. So they need you because when insulin's low, your immune system and reproductive hormones are high. Anybody out there having fertility issues, go ahead and put fertility in the chat if you or someone you know and love is having fertility issues like my wife and I did. So, and if you got to go, private message me. I'll be happy to get back to you. So they need you to eat first thing in the morning. Let me show you why. Are you guys ready? Pay attention. So you guys, they get you to break your fast first thing in the morning. So you eat some toast or oats and blood sugar spikes, insulin, your fat storing hormone is elevated. And if you eat these carbohydrates, this can stay elevated for 5 hours without you even eating any more food, just so you know, medical research shows. So this now drops, and now you're hungry because you turn fat burning off when insulin's elevated, and now you got to eat all day long. You guys getting it? So now the company that hijacked your blood sugar and insulin first thing in the morning has got the Nature Death Valley bars for you, but they'll keep you skinny, and there's no added sugar, and they're organic and all that stuff. And there's 2 bars in there. So you eat them, they're low calorie, you feel really good. You've eaten 3 times, haven't left the house, you've got 300 calories in you. It's all about calories, I tell you. Watch, and insulin's elevated the whole time. Now you stop and get a Poopa Peppermint Choc Lipidol latte. And well, you don't drink the whole thing because there's a lot of calories in it. So you take a drink and boom. Maybe you wake up in the morning and you don't eat anything, you drink it, right? Maybe that's what you do. You're doing some diet soda, which means highly processed and chemicalized. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's a whole other topic. But if it says sugar-free, stay away from it. Just that'd be my warning sign to you. Dr. Lustig, pediatric endocrinologist, talks about that. But anyway, long story short, you got boom, and then boom. And so now you're on your way to lunch and you're exhausted. And what do you guys do? Well, how many of you fell for the brown rice lie like I did? Put BR in the chat if you fell for the brown rice lie. And brown rice, there's no fiber. They've stripped it, but they paint it brown to make us feel more comfortable and better. And so it blows up your blood sugar. Diabetics out there, how many carbs are you supposed to have each snack and meal? Would you put that in the chat? And they've told you to eat 5 and 6 meals a day, right? And now after lunch, you're exhausted. So you stop and you get an energy drink, and you know those are not good for you, but you got to do something. So you eat, you drink, you're doing just little bits in it. Now, 5 years of this has went by. You go in to see your medical doctor, right? And, you're gaining weight. You got back from your 5-year high school reunion and your waistline's expanded. Anybody else seen this happen? That's because insulin's elevated all the time. And your doctor goes, well, you just need to move your body more frequently. You need to eat less and you will lose weight. If you've been told to do this, put CICO in the chat for calories in, calories out. And I used to tell people this. I'm not throwing shade on anybody. But if you've been told to do that, put that in the chat. And you're like already doing this. You're like literally moving more, eating less, and all these, and you're just like, and you're probably even looking at your doctor and you're thinking, I don't know, man, this person doesn't look any healthier than I am, but I guess they are the expert. I should probably listen, right? And so now you do this initially and you've been doing this stuff and you lost 10 pounds initially, but you found another 20 or more pounds. If you've lost 10 pounds initially, to find 20 or more, put 20 in the chat. And the reason is, let me show you, is because when you lose muscle, when you're insulin resistant, you can't burn fat for fuel. So you actually burn your muscle. It's called sarcopenia. And now you're even worse off because now you've lost more muscle, leading to osteoporosis, because less muscle density, you have less muscle or bone density you've got. It's a whole smorgasbord of stuff. And this is what's happening. Now, this is like CDU, but everybody's doing it. CDU. Now watch, you keep doing this. Now you tell the doctor you're a disaster and the doctor knows this. And you're like, Doc, my menstrual cycle's all over the place. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, don't worry. We've got some hormone replacement therapy, HRT for you. Some HRT 5739. They give your husband tests. TRT, they inject him in his, anybody out there like this? How many of you been doing what I'm showing and your hormones have never been better? You're off TRT, your testosterone's back. Put that in the chat, would you? Elevate your life. I love it. Health. Love you, Deb. And this keeps happening. You go into the bathroom and there's a cabinet in there. What kind of cabinet's in your bathroom? Would you guys all put that in the chat for me? Go ahead and put that in the chat. And they call it a what cabinet? And do we have more stuff to put in there today than we did 20 years ago? Let me ask you a question. Do you guys feel better the more of those things you take or worse? We just keep doing this. And now you can't have a baby, but don't worry, there's a $50,000 clinic you can go to. I've done those things. I know it very well. And my wife had PCOS for over 20 years. We were able to correct it in less than 2 months. Pretty crazy, isn't it? I know you guys are going, oh my God, this guy's totally defining me. And in the meantime, you're getting high skin tags that are popping up. You're getting dark patches of skin on your elbows, your knuckles, under. That's called acanthosis nigricans. You're losing your vision. You're getting blurred vision, tinnitus, cataracts, all these things, joint pain all over the place. Your libido sucks. Your energy sucks. Your blood pressure is going up. You're on water pills. Cholesterol panel is going up too. You've got high triglycerides and LDL, low HDL. Am I getting anything out there? Is this making too much freaking sense, right? It's crazy, isn't it? And you just keep doing this and doing it like CDU. And anyway, this happens for 15 years. Let me give you an example. I used to live in Michigan, and we lived on lakes, and there was a higher water table, and we had a basement. And if you have a basement floor, see, your doctors are never, yes, Janet, they're never measuring your insulin, but they always measure your fasting blood sugar and your A1C, A1C. You guys get this? Now watch this. So they measure this every year, but they never measure this. And here's why. Your basement floor it should be dry. That's a good glucose number. Fasting, that's a good A1C, but they're never measuring the sump pump that's producing the insulin to keep your basement dry. You guys get it? And after 15 years of the warning signs I just shared with you, that's just a few of them. You're getting autoimmune diseases, colitis, itis means inflammation, peeing all the time, joint pain. 15 years, this happens before you lose control of your blood sugar. 15 years, they take your money while you're in need. It's trifling. I mean, it's so interesting indeed. But don't you worry. They tell you about a thing until you lose control of your blood sugar after 15 years. They diagnose you with diabetes. Let me show you what you got. You got insulin resistance. That's what you got. It causes all of this. Am I making too much sense? Crazy how I define all this stuff for you guys, isn't it? Might be because I've worked with tens of thousands of people around the world. And I can show you, as Einstein would say, the life's coming attraction for you. You guys getting it? It's crazy. And if you got to leave, private message me if you're ready to take control of your health, because I'll show you the way. Now, let me show you what else happens. This is what your kids are going through. So your kids wake up, and instead of us giving them eggs, we give them some cereal. No added sugar, though. Blows up their blood sugar, Insulin pulls it down. They crash, and we call that, well, attention deficit. All teachers know you don't give kids cakes and cupcakes till the end of the school day because too much sugar in the brain causes what? Oh, yeah, no learning. And what do we give the kids to eat during the day? We give them crackers, carbs. We give them chips, pasta, pizza, macaroni and cheese, chicken nuggets wrapped in fries. We give them chocolate milk. But it's skim. They've taken the fat out. Look at what fat does to your blood sugar. It keeps it lower. If your blood sugar is lower, is insulin lower? So they take that out. Now it's straight sugar, and they add more sugar to it. Blows up their blood. Are you guys getting it? And then we give them juices and all this stuff. And we wonder why our kids are sicker than they have ever been in the humanity of history. Weird, isn't it? Now I'm going to show you guys what's causing your blood pressure. How many of you have been told that salt's causing your high blood pressure? Go ahead and put salt in the chat. Before we do that, when you lose control of your insulin levels, the blood sugar starts to get sucked all into your brain. It's called dementia. Insane in the membrane. Start getting migraines, intracranial pressure. Too much sugar in your joints is known as osteoarthritis. Too much sugar in your female parts, polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis. Yes, urinary tract infections, yeast infections, too much sugar in your liver, fatty liver, high triglycerides, LDL, low HDL. By the way, too much sugar in your joints, too much sugar in your, guys, no stencil in the pencil, too much sugar in your muscles, blood pressure. So they told you salt's causing your high blood pressure, right? Let's talk about salt, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the lies they put in disguise to you and me. So how many of you know that if your blood, let's say that your house caught on fire, would your blood pressure go up? Would your heart rate speed up? Cortisol will be elevated, right? If you know that to be true, put F and F in the chat. That means fight or flight. Let me show you why. So when you get stressed out, cortisol gets elevated. Your immune system, reproductive system is low. So when your house is on fire, your blood vessels constrict. They get smaller. If your blood vessels got smaller, would the blood pressure go up or would it go down? Put up or down in the chat. Now, what should happen, right, is this. And when your house fire is put out, cortisol drops. Immune system, reproductive system goes back up. Problem is, you're never letting cortisol go down. You know what causes cortisol? Stress. That can be from things somebody's saying to you, attacking you. It can be all the poison. It can be all the poison that they're putting in your food. Honey, you need to make them now. Trying to talk to my wife. So this is what are you guys getting it? It's insane, isn't it? Now watch. So you guys wake up and you break fast with some O's of Cheery or some carbohydrates or sugary beverages that they've labeled as healthy, like juice. I was told juice was healthy. Your blood vessels turn into this. And you're eating, watch, because you're eating carbs. These carbs are blowing up your blood sugar, and this happens within an hour to two. It pops and spikes. And now you got to eat more frequently throughout the day because once you pop, you can't. Come on, you guys remember the, yeah, right? So now your blood vessels stay like this. How many of you have heard of atherosclerosis? If you have, put ATH in the chat. They're finding this in your 10-year-olds. So if your 10-year-olds have it and you're feeding them and you're over 10, you guys can do the math. Now, what atherosclerosis looks like is like this, creme brulee. Can you imagine blowtorching sugar? Creme brulee. This is what your blood vessel looks like. It shouldn't be made out of glass, but this is what happens. And when you glass it, there's no, you guys see the water? That's your blood. That's your blood. It's a representation. You don't want it made out of glass. That's really easy to pop and rupture. That's why cardiovascular disease goes up 43%. CAD goes up 43%. Did you guys know that? When you're insulin resistant. And when you lose control of blood sugar, it goes up 80%. So now the blood vessels are like this, creme brulee, not good today. How many of you have noticed how your dogs and cats are much fatter today than what they used to be 20, 30, 40 years ago? If so, put a cat or a dog in the chat. Now those cats and dogs are being fed grain. And just like people, insane in the grain brain. So now cats and dogs are diagnosed with dementia and, well, diabetes and cardiovascular disease and arthritis and the C disease. And they're getting drugs delivered right to their front door, just like people. I mean, it's just like C do. It's crazy, isn't it? And anyway, when you bake a cake, what's sticky in there? Is it the fats and the proteins they put in there? Or is the flour that turns into sugar when you add water to it? Let me give you another example. Here's another famous cardiologist you all want to follow, right? And here's what happens, right? This guy's name's Ali Nadir. And David Perlmutter wrote The Grain Brain almost 2 decades ago. And he pointed out that when you have, he didn't even talk about this, but when you get this takes 15 years of insulin resistance. This is the tie to all this. This leads to diabetes. When you're diabetic, this goes up 80%. Alzheimer's dementia goes up 81%. They call it diabetes type 3 now, just so you guys know. Now watch this. They said both that if you're blaming cholesterol for your cardiovascular episode, it's like blaming the fire department for showing up and putting your house fire out. So I'm going to give you an example real quick. How many of you have heard of free radicals? You can put FR in the chat, or you've heard of antioxidants, right? Cholesterol, medical research shows, are antioxidants. They bring inflammation down. This stuff causes inflammation to go up. I wonder why this is in everything you consume, and then they're telling you to eat low amounts of fat and cholesterol. If you've been told to eat low amounts of fat and cholesterol, put F and C in the chat for me, would you? So those things bring down inflammation, so don't eat those so we can rot you out and rust you out, but we'll have, don't worry, we'll give you plenty of other stuff, right? Watch this. So I'm going to give you an example right now. How many of you have ever had young kids in your life, maybe when they were 2 and 3? Let's say we have a barbecue. I'm over at Elevate Your Health. That's Deb's house. And all of us adults are in this room. And then all the kids are in the other room. Now, we, right now, right? We as adults, right, are the antioxidants. The children are free radicals. They destroy everything if left unabated, right? So this right here, you guys seen this? What would happen if those kids got this on their fingers? Would they get this everywhere? Would it stick to everything? Stick to your arteries. It's called glycation, creme brulee. Your blood vessels, your eyes start getting glycation, losing your vision, cataracts, tinnitus, can't hear anymore. Balance issues, it builds up in your joints. You start to lose flexibility and muscle. So you forgot the kids are in the other room. And those kids are free radicals going crazy. And your health whispers before it screams. Let me show you what I mean by this. So now, you are the cholesterol. You go in there. And this right here is some sourdough bread that we buy locally. And if I left this exposed with air open to it, it would oxidize, it would rust, it would go bad very quickly. Does that make sense? Guess what stops it from doing that? Cholesterol. So you would go in the room and you would pick up those free radical children. You would close that up. Yeah, you would get rid of them, right? That's what cholesterol does. And you know what transports cholesterol to be able to do that? LDL. Wait till I break that down in a few minutes. Wait till I show you cholesterol and watch what happens to the rhythm of the algo. Rhythm of the algo goes down when you guys start learning about the truth around town. It's really crazy. But anyway, let's show you. So now all of a sudden, are you guys catching on? Right? So they told you that it's salt causing your high blood pressure, remember? Watch this. You guys are going to love this. You're going to love this. Oh, you're going to love it. DP, what's up, man? I got to talk to you, brother. I'm so proud of you, man. Keep up the great work. So let's have some fun, right? Now watch this. This is my friend Deb. I got to show you guys Deb. Deb, I'm so goddamn proud of you, sweet pea. This is Deb. Deb had an autoimmune disease called IBS. Anybody hear of autoimmune? Yeah, and she had low testosterone. This was managed care. She had gut issues, headaches. This was 7 months on the 3-step reset. Those things are all gone. Thank you, Deb, so much, beautiful. So we're going to show you all the tricks and the tattywhacks, right? But you'll love this. So anyway, blood pressure is on fire from all the sugar. And this sugar builds up into your eyeballs. It's called glycation. And you start getting cataracts. And you also start to build up this stuff in your kidneys. And well, they tell you it's too much protein consumption, but protein, it's really fascinating. I mean, protein, if you're getting that in your urine and they're blaming this on that, let me ask you just a common sense question. Do you normally see bodybuilders on dialysis, or do we normally see diabetics on dialysis? Go ahead, you can put the answer in the chat. So you eventually blow out the blood vessel, all from the sugar, but they told you it was salt. I think we should eat crickets, sing Kumbaya, and save the planet. I'm sure those people are eating that too, right? Like they tell you to do. Follow that doctor on television. How's that working out for you? Are you on more knick-knack paddywhacks today than you were 20 years ago? I'm just asking for a friend. So anyway, you blow out the blood vessel. And we call the paramedics. The paramedics don't call the hospital. They don't even call the doctor. And they just show up and they inject you with a solution. Can you guys all do me a favor and put in the chat what the solution is they inject you with? And in the honor of Gump of Force, I might not be a smart man, but if somebody has a cardiovascular episode and we inject them with salt to bring down their blood pressure, it's probably not salt causing high blood pressure. What you think? Now, if you have really high blood pressure, they'll give you 2 bags of salt. Crazy, ain't it? How many of you are getting leg cramps and eye twitches out there? Go ahead and do me a big favor and just put LC in the chat for me, would you? Now, the Bible tells us over 70 times that we should have salt with every meal. Anybody out there being paid on a salary? If so, do me a favor and put salary in the chat. Did you know that your brain is 80% white matter? Do you know that the white matter is made of fat and it's made of cholesterol? Has anybody on here been told to eat low amounts of fat and cholesterol? If so, put F and C in the chat for me. Your nerves are wrapped in myelin. Myelin is made of fat and cholesterol. This cable right here is charging my phone. In your body, this wire would be considered a nerve in the example. And well, it's covered in myelin made of fat and cholesterol. Now, what courses through this is in charging my phone is electricity, but through your body, what courses through it is sodium and potassium that comes from salt. Yes. And how many of you know people that are on water pills or you're on a water pill? Put WP in the chat. You'll love this. But anyway, your practitioner is telling you to keep your salt low because that's what they've been taught to do. Now, when I say salt, I think 1,000 table salt is crap. But let me show you what I use every single day. This right here is actually Baja Gold salt. It's amazing. Baja Gold. I use Himalayan. I use Celtic salt. What kind of lick does a farmer put out in their garden or on their farm to keep away the vets? Would you guys all put that in the chat? Now, your brain needs sodium and potassium to have nerve potentials, electricity. You're a battery. Your heart needs sodium and potassium. I also use Signal. Signal has, it's incredible. It's got beetroot in it for nitric oxide production. And it's got L-citrulline for cardiovascular, and it's got all your minerals you need. But magnesium is awesome for allowing your muscles to relax and open, for blood pressure, for sleep and anxiety and stress. It's using like 600 enzymatic reactions. And it's completely depleted out of your soil. Even the animals that you're consuming, like cows that are ruminant animals, they can't get it out because there's none in it. From all the glyphosate and all the stuff they've done to the fuel or the water. But anyway, and by the way, how many of you guys are on water pills? Put WP in the chat for me, please, would you? Do you guys know what a water pill is? You're going to love this. You probably already figured it out. But yeah, the word salary, before I go there, salary comes from the root word salt. Because a man's not worth his what? How did they used to pay men thousands of years ago? What did they pay them with? Do you guys know what water pills are? They're patented salt. Crazy, isn't it? Insane, isn't it? Oh man, so don't consume it, but we'll sell it back to you. Well, I'm gonna show you real quick. This is in Dr. Bickman's book. Okay, he's the world's leading insulin-resistant doctor. He points out that when you restrict salt in people, and this is like 400 to 500 peer-reviewed journals in here, when you restrict salt in individuals for just 1 week, you do not reduce blood pressure, but you do cause insulin resistance, which causes high blood pressure or hypertension, and this puts you on this wheel of torture. Weird. If you've been trying to fast, which the Bible recommends fasting 90 times, all the ancient textbooks did. I mean, the Egyptians, like the oldest civilization we know, they didn't eat till like in the evening. They ate 1 meal. Weird, right? I guess, but you've all been told to eat all day long. Who profits when you eat and take and inject all day? I'm just asking for a friend, right? But anyway, long story short, let's take a look at this. So you're eating all the time, creating sugar, causing your blood vessels to constrict. All the added sugar and everything finally blows the blood vessel out. And then we call the paramedics. They inject you with salt to bring you back to life, to bill your insurance. And then they patent salt and they sell it back to you for the rest of your life. I mean, that's one heck of a business model, don't you think? But I think we should ask the real doctor on television if those things are right for you. It's funny when you look behind the curtain of Oz, what you start to see. But let me show you something. I love this song growing up, and I can't help myself. Because if there was a problem, they solve it. Check out the hook while they keep you revolve. Just eat, take baby. Don't stop. Don't advocate for yourself. Just listen to the doctor on the TV shelf. Would you think they'll ever stop it daily and nightly? No, I mean, you start you with 1, and before you know it, you're on 10. It's crazy, ain't it? And let me ask you all a question. Do you feel better on those things or worse on those things? It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Now, if you're insulin resistant, you've been trying to fast and you're stuck, you need to add the salt back in because insulin is going to stay high to keep your minerals in your body. So if you put the minerals back, insulin levels can drop. This is why you get headaches, you get tired, your bowels shut down when you're eating fiber or you're trying to fast. Does this make sense? Weird, isn't it? So now that you guys see this, okay, let's have another deep dive into cholesterol. So how many of you have been told that you want to have low cholesterol to live a long life? Put LC in the chat for me, would you? And today I'm going to have a little bit of time to stick around and answer some questions. I don't normally have that, but I'm going to show you how to fix all this stuff. And if you have to leave, just private message me and I'll be happy to help you, okay? Now, if you guys would do me the favor, did you know that your liver makes 85% of the cholesterol in your body, medical research shows? Every cell in our body requires cholesterol. Cholesterol is so important that your brain, my brain, our brains house 25% of the cholesterol in your body. It's a fuel source for the brain. And the brain actually makes its own cholesterol. The brain weighs 2% of your body weight. It uses 30% of the energy of the body, known as metabolic output, and it houses 25% of the cholesterol. And when it gets low, you start forgetting things. I mean, that does kind of sound like dementia and Alzheimer's, doesn't it? Anyway, weird. But let's take a deep dive, shall we? Okay. So how many of you have heard or been told that LDL is probably the bad guy in the situation? If you've been told that, put LDL in the chat for me, would you please? Now, LDL, did you know there's 2 patterns of LDL, and I'll show you. But LDL stands for low density lipoprotein. It is a protein that actually carries cholesterol, okay? I got to take some more trash out. Bye, Nudie. It's amazing how I get all these nude people things on here. It's crazy. Anyway, let's take a look, shall we? Okay. So you've got pattern A and pattern B LDL. You'll watch the rhythm of the algo, rhythm. It'll start going down when I start talking about cholesterol. It's always fascinating to me. Let's show them the truth, right? Okay, so LDL, there's pattern A and there's pattern B. Now, pattern A is this. Pattern A is cardiovascular neutral, and it makes up 80% of our cardiovascular LDL. So it protects your cardiovascular system, okay? It's neutral, doesn't cause damage. It is fluffy like a big balloon. And then you've got pattern B. Pattern B is like a golf ball. We don't want a large amount of those. Those are not cardiovascular neutral. And if you have a creme brulee, like blood vessel, atherosclerotic, like we were talking about, the water's the blood. And would you want to have a golf ball bouncing around this thing that would penetrate and cause damage? Or would you want to have a big fluffy balloon floating? You can put balloon or golf in the chat of which one you would like to have. Now, how many of you have heard of the PDR? That stands for the Physician's Desk Reference. Used to be called that. Now they call it the Prescriber's Digital Reference. If you've heard of that, put PDR in the chat. You want to write that down as well because that's something you want to look into. You can look up all the side effects and symptoms in that thing that you're maybe on some medications that you're taking. I mean, even Mary taught us as kids, just a spoonful of what makes the what go down. I mean, her name was Mary. What was she telling you to do? Huh. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Are you guys getting it? So let's have some fun. So now all of a sudden, people keep asking, this is chlorogenic acid tea. And chlorogenic acid it acts like metformin, and a GLP-1 all wrapped up in one. Many of you may have heard of a GLP as like Ozempic and all. That's just something that they're injecting you with, but your body actually makes this. I'm gonna show you how you can make your own with no side effects if you guys are open to it, okay? But this stuff is incredible, and it keeps your blood sugar stable. So my wife had hypoglycemia, where she would always get very low blood sugar, and she couldn't fast, and this will elevate it to where it should be. And if your blood sugar is too high, it'll bring it down. And there's zero side effects to this. I'll show you where it is. It's in the same book your doctor recommends metformin from, right? Now, this stuff keeps your blood sugar stable, energy's incredible, helps your liver burn fat, protects your liver, puts you into autophagy. You guys know what autophagy is? That means that it reverse ages. It's like Miss Pac-Man in your body that eats up all the bad proteins. I'll show you a lot of before and afters of people this morning, and you'll see all the difference in how much younger they look. If you're aging backwards doing what I'm showing, just put backwards in the chat, would you? Now watch this, right? This is crazy. This is a cell membrane, this glass that houses this drink. Guess what that cell membrane's made of? Cholesterol. Guess how the cholesterol gets there? It's made in the liver, and it's transported by your LDL to carry the cholesterol to every cell membrane in your body. Now, as we use something more frequently, is there more damage or less damage if you use something more frequently in age, right? Do you know that the research medically shows that the older you get, the higher your cholesterol should be? Yeah, it's crazy. And if you're over 60, you want higher cholesterol, because I'll show you why. Actually, that's where it runs your immune system. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And this is not me telling you, this is all documented history. This is all documented science, just so you guys know. It's crazy. Or is it? I'm so confused. But anyway, how many of you, right? These things are so powerful, the LDL things, right? If they're that powerful, how long do you think they would extend your life expectancy? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Have you noticed how the rhythm of the algos drove down the numbers about 200 in the chat? It's so fun. I love when I do this because it always tells you where they're really bought and paid for. It's so fascinating. Oh, I don't want you guys learning the goddamn truth. Share this with your family and friends, okay? And I'm going to point it all out to you to where you guys are all going to see it for what it really is. Now, you guys ready? Okay. How long do you think that these things that I like to call Satan's candy that brings down your LDL increase your life expectancy? Put that in the chat. I mean, it should be decades the way everybody's on them, right? I mean, but I guess, cardiovascular disease is still the #1 cause of death. I mean, if those things are so great, why are that still the #1 killer? I'm just asking for a friend, right? If you're on one of those, it doesn't extend your life expectancy even a year, not even a week. It's 4 days, just so you guys know. 4 days. Oh, I'm not making this stuff up, guys. That is out of the New England. It's actually out of the journal, The Lancet, out of Great Britain, one of the oldest medical journals on the planet. Now, here's what else happens. If you're a female and you're put on some of those things to bring down your cholesterol, your LDL, and you're in menopause, did you know that it increases your diabetic rate by 50%? Medical research shows. You're probably going, what did he just say? Yeah, I didn't stutter when I said that. Let me show you why. Cholesterol's made in your liver. It's transported from your liver. So let me give you an example quick. If this is your atherosclerotic blood vessel, the water's blood, if I pour olive oil on top of the water, that olive oil would disassociate, right? And what that is, in the example I'm trying to give you, the olive oil would be cholesterol. It's mostly fat. So it needs something to carry it. And what carries it from where it's made throughout the bloodstream is LDL. It's like a tractor trailer. We're currently building a home, my wife and I. So can you imagine me trying to build a home and carry all the construction material to the home by myself? You need tractor trailers to drop that stuff off. That's LDL. If this is making sense, give me a thumbs up, okay? Before I move forward, I don't want to lose anybody on this one, okay? Thank you, Linda. Okay. So here's what happens, right? If you can't transport the cholesterol from your liver where it's made by LDL, because you've reduced it and taken it off the road, you can't get the cholesterol to the pancreas. And now you can't make insulin. And if you can't make insulin, I guess if you can't make it, they'll sell you something you can take. How many of you are taking metformin? I know what it is really called, but you can put metformin in the chat. Did you know that metformin has a black box? Well, they call it box warning now. That means that you can go to sleep and never wake up again. How many of you on here are using that, or you know someone that is? If so, put metformin in the chat. Now, this stuff outperforms that. I'll show you the proof. Why have you not heard about this? And there's zero side effects with what I'm going to show you. Well, I shouldn't say that. There is one. You're probably going to have to change your wardrobe. If you've had to change your wardrobe, you can put wardrobe in the chat. But here's what happens, right? Here's some other warning signs that your LDL's too low. These are all side effects known in the physician's desk reference. That's the PDR.net. This is where your doctor prescribes drugs from. If you've got any of these, do me a favor and just say, if you've seen this and you or family members on these things, you can just say yes in the chat. These people start to forget things. And that's because cholesterol is a fuel source for your brain. And if it's too low, well, you can't remember. How many of you are also getting joint pain? You've seen this in people. That's because your joints, you need cholesterol for them. How many of you realize that cardiovascular disease goes up on these things? And I thought it was supposed to reduce that. Coronary artery calcification. How many of you have heard of cirrhosis? That happens with this. That's because your liver is already plugged up. And when your liver is plugged up, from having a fatty liver, I'll show you in a second, well, now it's already fatty. And so now you're adding, guess what? You've got high triglycerides, all these things, and now you're adding a petroleum-based product. You guys do understand that there's not a medication on the planet that does not have a side effect and symptom. I'm not making this up, okay? Other things that happen, well, you start getting neuropathy and neuralgia. That's because the brain is wrapped in myelin. Your nerves, if this is a cable, are wrapped in myelin. And that myelin is made of fat and cholesterol. So they start to diagnose you with things like ALS and MS and Guillain-Barré and all these things. Does this sound vaguely familiar? Ladies and gentlemen, your libido starts to drop. Your estrogen gets lower. Your testosterone's lower. Your progesterone's lower. But don't worry, they're going to inject you with testosterone and HRT therapy that all have known side effects. Go look it up. How many of you have heard of coenzyme Q10? Put CoQ10 in the chat. Did you know that coenzyme Q10 is carried by that's something for your heart, right? Heart health, you guys know this. And let me show you. You need LDL to carry coenzyme Q10. You also need coenzyme or LDL to carry your fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, and vitamin D is now considered a hormone. By the way, your own FD of the administration does not approve of D3, vitamin D3, but it does approve of Twinkies. That might give you some insight. And weirdly enough, go look up who funds these sham hats. And you'll love this, right? So now all of a sudden, you need vitamin D3. How do you make it? You make it. Let me show you. You need cholesterol to make in your liver. Your liver makes and manufactures your cholesterol. It's then carried through your bloodstream by LDL. And LDL carries that cholesterol to your skin surface. You need direct sun exposure on the cholesterol in the skin surface to make vitamin D3. If you block that with things that they tell you to use, the top 3 components in those things are carcinogens. Don't believe me, go check it out. What will happen? Well, if you can't make vitamin D3 controls anywhere between 3 to 10% of your genetic code. And one of those genes is called P53, which controls uncontrolled cell growth. It kills that. Well, you guys know what uncontrolled cell growth is. Yeah. So you start to get joint pain, lose flexibility with all these things. You're losing your vision because, your cranial nerve 1, nothing but cholesterol. Your nerves are wrapped in cholesterol, myelin. You're losing your hearing. You're getting tinnitus. You're also losing your smell and taste. You've noticed this with your kids. Your kids, when they're little, they notice everything in the food, and you can't taste any of it. Also, your skin is really starting to get very ragged, aging spots, wrinkled. You're probably getting neuropathy, neuralgia. You're probably getting some psoriatic arthritis and things like that, all these autoimmune diseases and inflammatory because, well, cholesterol is an antioxidant, it keeps inflammation down. Yeah, it's insane, right? I mean, it's one heck of a system. So, and if you can't make it, then they can sell it to you. You guys get it? Let me show you what's happened. Since the 60s, they've taken, watch this. This is your liver. Every meal you eat, doesn't matter if you've got, well, minimal calories or not. You're turning the food into sugar. And all that extra sugar is getting poured into your liver. This is your liver. There's only about a pound of storage in here. And here's what happens. So you pour all this into the liver until the liver gets completely filled up. Now, when the liver gets completely filled up, this happened back in the 60s. They added modified food starch in your food. It's in things like, well, yogurts, and it's a filler, it's a bulking agent, it makes things thick, bread, pastas, all the stuff, which they tell you diabetics to start your morning off with. What happens? Well, you get a fatty liver. It went up 400 times in the 70s. Diabetes went up sevenfold, obesity sevenfold. So now the liver's full. How do you know the liver's full? Here's what your blood work looks like. If you got any blood work like this around town, put BW in the chat. So let me show you. This is your atherosclerotic cardiovascular tissue. This is your arteries. Creme brulee, not a good thing. The water is the blood. Now the liver's full with all this stuff, and it starts pouring the triglycerides out of it back into your bloodstream. Triglycerides start going up. LDL starts going up. VLDL goes up. Lipoprotein B goes up. And anybody got blood work like that? And you or your family and friends, put BW in the chat. Now, they give you something to drive all that stuff back down. So crazy, isn't it? Now, and when they do this, then you start developing cirrhosis and all these other liver issues because your liver's already plugged up instead of showing you how to fix it all. So here's the equation to realize how insulin resistant you are. You guys ready? How many of you have been told that HDL is the good cholesterol? Put HDL in the chat. There is not a good or bad cholesterol. They're all absolutely essential and necessary, and God wouldn't have made them. And so are your hormones. The problem is not your food, the hormones, it's the food and what they've done to the food. But HDL it's called high density lipoprotein. Yeah, and so here's what happens. You're going to take your triglyceride number. If you've heard of triglyceride, put tri in the chat. Triglycerides have a 1.8 hazard risk ratio. That means that you're 80% more likely to have a cardiovascular episode with high triglycerides because your liver's full of sugar. It's not fat, it's caused by sugar, just so you guys all know. Do videos on this every freaking day on other places I'm located. I can't do it on this one because they always take them down. Weird. Just like the rhythm of the algo brings all of this down when I talk about cholesterol. Because, I mean, if you take away their moneymaker, they can't shake it no more, can they? Sorry, that's another song, and I think I'm so not cool. I haven't been cool in years. But anyway, weird. So now, well, you take the triglycerides, and then you divide it by HDL. And if that number is 1.5 or lower, you're doing really good. But if it's higher, you've got problems, and you're insulin resistant. Now, LDL's only got a 1.3 hazard risk ratio. But that's the one we focus on. Weird, isn't it? I know. So let me show you guys some proof, and then I'll show you how we fix it, and I'll open up to some questions this morning, okay? You guys ready? So let me show you guys. This right here is a friend of mine, Rose, a nurse. This was her under managed care. She's a nurse. Her A1C was 14. This is her under the 3-step reset. Look at this. Look how much younger they look. Look at Kim, managed care. Her triglycerides, look at this. Look at this. Glucose went from 148 to 94. Triglycerides were 318 to 108. Her A1C was diabetic, no longer is. Now she's pre-diabetic, right? 8 peanut sizes down. That was Kim, managed care, 3-step reset. Managed care Belinda, truck driver. She had polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, fatty liver, sleep apnea, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, anxiety and stress and depression. That was her under managed care. This is her under the 3-step reset. This is my brother. His blood sugar was 275 under managed care. He started with insulin, right? He was on insulin for 20 years. If you're injecting insulin, your cardiovascular risk goes up 80%. Dementia and Alzheimer's goes up twofold. It triples the risk of cardiovascular disease when you're on insulin, just so you guys know. If your blood sugar is over 140, you are glycating your tissues and organs. This is why when you get the diabetic diagnosis, you guys go to every ologist on the planet, don't you? It's called wealth care, I was told by a nurse. This was my brother on the 3-step reset. The first day, he's not used insulin since. This is JoJo under managed care. This is the 3-step reset, JoJo. This is managed care, Steve. This is 3-step reset. Managed care, Dr. Kenny, that's me now. If you want to learn how to burn your love handles for fuel, put love handles in the chat. We'll show you. Now look at this. This is blood sugar on me forming at 160 for years with a black box warning. It was 95 the first day. Now, how many of you have heard of gastric sleeve surgery? Go ahead and put, if you have, right? This is my friend Mary. Do you know that medical research knows unequivocally that within 5 years, they'll gain all the weight back and more? I'll show you why. Now, wait a minute, if it's all about calories and you shrink the size of the stomach, you can't eat as many calories, right? So if you can't eat as many calories, then why are you gaining all the weight back? If you've had gastric sleeve done, like my friend Mary, God bless her, she didn't know what else to do. What happened was they have you eat 5 and 6 small meals a day, don't they? Do you remember what happens when you eat? Your blood sugar goes up, doesn't it? And if blood sugar goes up, insulin goes up. Now, if you're not diabetic, you're going to make more insulin to bring the blood sugar back down. And if you are diabetic, they're going to have you inject insulin to bring it back down. And insulin is your insulating and fat storing hormone. Are you guys getting it? That was my friend Mary, even after surgery. That's her today on the 3-step reset. Managed care nurse Patty, triglycerides were 249. They're now 77. Look at this. Look. You guys seeing this? How many of you, this guy right here, Jimmy, had his thyroid taken out, developed type 2 diabetes, and erectile dysfunction? I'll let Jimmy tell you his story.
Since I started the protocol, I actually found it on TikTok, believe it or not, and decided to give it a shot because there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. I was all in because I had literally given up on life and I didn't know what to do, where to turn, what direction to go in. Life just really sucked for me to be the heaviest that I ever was. In consistency, in 90 days, I was able to reverse my type 2 diabetes, reverse my fatty liver disease, the sleep apnea started going away, the blood pressure was normalizing. Depression was gone. ED, erectile dysfunction, gone. I was able to lose 46 pounds in that first 90 days, but I've been doing it for 19 months now, and I'm down 88 pounds and off of 8 medications.
I wonder why you guys haven't heard this on television. I'm so confused, aren't you? It's so crazy, isn't it? So this is my buddy, Chopper. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. I got about 20 minutes I got to run, but look at this right here. Chopper went from this right here under managed care for 6 years as a diabetic. And that was Chopper in 3 weeks, completely reversed. That's his wife, Dee. I think Chopper's down 60 or so pounds. And Chopper's no longer under management of care. It's crazy, isn't it? Keith was a 25-year diabetic. The day that his daughter found out she was pregnant, Keith died for a minute, and they brought him, thank God, back to life. And Keith, since then, decided he had to make some changes. And this was Keith under managed care. That right there. This is Keith today. Keith was able to Keith, you got off 108 units of insulin, I think you said in 2 days, wasn't it? This was a day in the life of Keith. That's 15 things a day. I'm 6'2", and this trough of stuff that he was on, the knick-knack paddywhacks, is wider than I am, just so you guys know. Keith, has this been simple and sustainable for you? You've been doing this now, it'll be a year, I think, in June, right, brother? Has your diabetes came back, Keith? How many of you have been told the lie that your diabetes is genetic? Go ahead and put a G in the chat. This is my friend John, had a foot ulcer. He was 25-year diabetic. John used his FSA to pay for what I'm going to show you. It's actually located in the same book that doctors recommend drugs from. That was John in 1 month reversed type 2 that he had for 25 years of managed care. That's John today. It's my wife, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. That was Honesty. Her name's Honest Fiber. We had 2 miscarriages, 7 years to get pregnant. This right here was my wife in less than 2 months. This is my mom with renal cell carcinoma. She still has it. This was 4 years ago. This is my beautiful mama today. That was in November. Can't wait. I'm going to see her tomorrow in Dayton, Ohio, where I'm going to be speaking. But her kidney function went from 23% under managed care to 56% in 2 months. She's down 3 pant sizes. Cholesterol panel's perfect. And what was supposedly genetic went down 250 points. She plays pickleball 3 to 5 times a week. So how do you do this, right? Well, here's how you do it. My wife was like, honey, I can't fast. And let me show you. So what happens is when you wake up in the morning, those companies, do they make money when you eat or when you don't? When you inject or when you don't? Okay. So they want you to eat as soon as you wake up and break your fast. And that spikes your blood sugar and insulin pulls it down. Well, you're going to eat more frequently throughout the day. They make more profit. It's really simple economics. Now, what happens is when you guys wake up in the morning, you've not eaten all night. When does your body heal? Put that in the chat. So now when you don't eat, your insulin levels stay low. And when insulin's low, what's got to go? You can put that in the chat. So now my wife woke up and she goes, honey, I can't fast. And if you've been using this 3-step reset and it's made your fasting simple, put FS in the chat for me, would you please? Thank you so much, Sherry. Now my wife couldn't fast because she would get hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. And when you use this tea, which I'm going to show you, this is a chlorogenic acid extract tea. It's located in the same book that your doctor would recommend drugs from. Baby? Oh, go ahead. And so you're going to mix this in here. And you're going to just shake it up. You can make it hot. You can make it cold. And this acts like a natural metformin and also GLP all wrapped up in one. It works amazing. And guess what all diseases need to eat, guys? For fuel, sugar. And they need insulin to access it, just so you know. Uncontrolled cell growth is fed by sugar, and insulin causes tissue to grow. You guys getting it? So anyway, you sip on this all morning. My wife goes, honey, I can't fast. I say, can you just sip on this? She goes, I can do that. So she didn't eat until 1 p.m. Now, when you finally eat lunch, your blood sugar will go up. Insulin pulls it back down. If you're like me, I used to be terrible snacker. Anybody else on here ever have snacking issues like me? Like right now, my wife's going to make some breakfast for my daughter, right? This is sourdough. This stuff's awesome. I could eat the whole thing, wouldn't even bat an eye. But I know better now. And so I just sip on this if I get an urge, and it just kills the food noise. If your food noise is better or gone, put F and G or F and B in the chat if it's better. If it's gone, you can put F and G in the chat. So you make your second tea of the 3-step reset between lunch and dinner. Now, how many of you have heard of the Cleveland Clinic? If you have, put C and C in the chat for me, would you please? Now, the Cleveland Clinic is the #1 heart institute on the planet. Why would they study a fibrous matrix, both soluble and insoluble? Well, let me show you why. Fiber, this is equivalent to 6 cups of broccoli, 5 apples with the pills. These are third-party tested for herbicides, pesticides, mold, mildew, bacteria, and carcinogens. They're in the physician's desk reference, the PDR. And this is equivalent to eating 6 cups of broccoli, 5 apples with the pills, and 2 cups of black beans. Why would a heart institute study fiber? They actually said in there that if this was taken on a population basis, it could lower lipid-lowering medications that they put you on. Now, this stuff, what it does, I'm going to show you, it looks like water right now, but it will start to thicken. And this is equivalent to eating 6 cups of broccoli, 5 apples of pills, 2 cups of black beans. And this stuff, what it does, it's clinically proven at the University of Sydney to lower your blood sugar by up to 43%. Look at this. 2 waffles, 2 tablespoons of syrup, 10 ounces of OJ's using a CGM. That's 43%. It also, this is what metformin does at the National Institute of Health. It reduces your blood sugar 25 to 30%. So the fiber is clinically proven to lower LDL, lower triglycerides, and we'll show you the proof in the physician's desk reference. It increases HDL, and it slows your blood sugar spike by 43%. Now, this again is the PDR, the physician's desk reference. This decreases your before and after glucose spikes. That's known as pre and post granular glucose. It lowers LDL, it lowers lipoprotein B, increases satiety, and it makes you full. Wonder why, as you watch this thicken, why these companies would take fiber out of your food. Look at how thick this is starting to get, just sitting here. Now, you don't want it to get thick like that. You're going to chug this stuff, but I want to show you what it does and why it's been removed. Now, this also, look at this. This reduces your triglycerides by 11%. It lowers your A1C by 3%. Metformin does 1%, and that's in 30 days. So what is the three-step reset? It is waking up, sipping a tea. Sounds ludicrous, I know. You sip it all morning long. Then you get to lunch and eat. You make your second tea, and then you eat fiber with your biggest meal. It's really that simple. I even send you a couple videos how to do it. Now, how many of you on here, this has transformed your health and well-being? If so, put that in the chat how it's changed your life, right? How much do you think this protocol, this three-step reset would cost? And if you're saving money, feel free to put a $ in the chat. This costs $5.30 a day. It's less than a cup of coffee, and it's guaranteed for 90 days. Now, when you subscribe, you'll pay $5.30 a day. It's $159 for the entire month. We have people on fixed disability doing this, Social Security. They actually put money back in their pocket, right? And when they do this, look how thick this is getting. And this is what coats your food. And well, this is why they take it out of your food. Now, what else happens, right? We're in 63 countries around the world. Stuff tastes so good. And my favorite flavors are pomegranate for the tea and lemon. And then I love the mixed berry. Now, if you guys want my discount, all you do is private message me code and I'll get you that code. They deliver it to your door in 3 to 5 business days. I recommend the pomegranate. I recommend you subscribe. You'll save an extra $25 a month and you have a 90-day money-back guarantee. If you use this properly and consistently, it will not let you down. I'm going to go through and show you guys a ton more proof, and I'll answer some questions, and I got to run. Okay, so with this, we're in 63 countries, getting ready to add 2 more. We're in the United States, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Mexico, and Canada. We're all over Europe. We're in United Kingdom, Germany, Switzerland, France, Latvia, Malta, Greece, Malta, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, Scotland, United Kingdom, Germany, Hungary, Romania. I can't even remember them all. We're also in where are we at? We're in South Africa. We're in Colombia. We're in South Africa. We're in Morocco. We're in Kenya, Oman, Saudi Arabia. We're in United Arab Emirates. We're also in Japan, Thailand, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore. We're in South Korea, Vietnam, Australia, and New Zealand. We're all over the globe. So this right here is a little guy right here. And this little guy was not supposed to happen. His mom had polycystic ovarian syndrome for 4 years. And in 4 months, he was conceived. Now, these are your food. Let me ask you a question real quick. Is our food as nutrient dense today as it was 50 years ago? If you know it's not, put a 50 in the chat, right? And so here's what happens, right? Look at this. Isn't that crazy? Look how thick this stuff's getting. And all we're doing is putting it back in. Now, children and pregnant moms do not fast, okay? So if you guys need more information because you're coming on late, private message me info. If you want to learn about cholesterol, how to determine your insulin resistance score, private message me cholesterol. If you want to learn about food order, you can private message me food order. I have videos on all this. If you want my discount code, just private message me code. And if you need more info because you're coming in late, just private message me info, okay? Now, these are kids. They're not fasting. Pregnant mothers don't fast. They're just using the tea and the fiber. Look at this. Now, guys, in all transparency, this is my live feed. This is not private message. You've got to private message me, okay? Ray, have a great day, brother. This was me 11 weeks apart. No counting calories, no restrictions, guys. My buddy, how many of you have heard of autoimmune? Put auto in the chat. My friend Jim had autoimmune disease of IBS, GERD. Okay, he had GERD, reflux, right? Acid reflux, hypertension, fatty liver, sleep apnea. And he also had type 2 diabetes. This is Jim's A1C under managed care. That's the 3-step reset. That was 6 weeks, guys. All those things are gone. This is managed care Brandon, depression, gone, 3-step reset. Managed care Gavin, 21 years young. Gavin had hypertension so bad he had a stroke in the right side of his face, And this is Gavin today. He's down 100 pounds. Dr. Jim, a holistic practitioner for 54 years. He's 77, that's 6 weeks apart, adding muscle. How many of you on this protocol have actually added muscle? If you have, put muscle in the chat if you've gotten stronger and added muscle. Now, you're not supposed to do that as you age. Well, it depends on what sandbox you're playing. Let me show you. By the way, when you guys start this protocol, take before and after pictures and measurements. And please, for God's sakes, don't worry about how much you weigh. Let me give you an example. If you go to the pool today and see Brad Pitt laying by the pool or Jennifer Aniston, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, do you go, hey, do you weigh 225 pounds or 185 pounds? Jennifer, do you weigh 150 or 125? Nobody cares because they're metabolically fit. Let me show you something. This is 5 pounds of fat. This is 5 pounds of muscle. They're equal in weight. Look which one takes up more space. When you start this protocol, do me a favor. Grab a tight pair of fitting pants. Put them on. Try them on at the end of every week. Why am I telling you this? Because when you burn fat, when you're fasting, human growth hormone and testosterone goes up. Those stimulate you to grow muscle. This guy's in his freaking, he's almost 80 years old. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at that. I'll show you more proof of people that are almost his age. The same freaking thing, guys. And when you build muscle, your waistline's going to taper. Your joints are going to stop hurting. Your rings are going to start coming off. Mental clarity is going to come back. How many of you guys are noticing stuff like this? And that's because you're burning fat for fuel, which burns very clean. Are you guys getting it? Now watch this. This is Dr. Dieter. Dr. Dieter, he's an internal medicine doctor. Well, somebody's asking about GLPs. Are you guys open to learn how to make your own GLP-1 naturally with no side effects? See, what people are not being told is if you're injecting those things, okay, what happens, you increase, by the way, this is not my saying, this is Dr. Benjamin Bickman. He had the first lab in North America studying those things. He was all for them when they started. He said, now though, it's like going after a mosquito with a bazooka. Because of the dosage. You actually, the research shows you triple, here's what's going on, guys. You triple the depression rate, you double suicide. That just came out in January of this past, not this year, the year before. That's when that came out, that research. You're losing bone called osteoporosis and you're losing muscle. Almost half of the weight you lose is muscle and bone. And it's really hard to get that back. And due to how old you are, you might not ever get it back. And it also increases pancreatitis, medullary thyroid carcinoma, all these other things, guys. So you're actually losing muscle. When you fast, you put muscle on. That's why the scale may not, this is why they get you guys looking how much you weigh. Stop looking at what you weigh. It doesn't matter what you weigh, okay? So this is Dr. Dieter. If you guys want to learn from him, he's speaking tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. This was him under managed care, internal medicine doctor and pediatrician. This is him. 6 years of fasting and running 3 times a week on long distance runs. This was 2 months of adding tea and fiber, putting back in his body what they've taken out of your food. I asked Dr. Dieter, I said, Doc, why would you recommend this to people? And he goes, you know, I go, this is not really the medical way, right? He's like, man, we weren't taught nutrition in school. He goes, we weren't taught insulin resistance. We weren't taught any of this stuff. And he goes, this is safe. It's in the same book that I would recommend drugs from. He goes, there's 0 side effects and a 90-day money-back guarantee. Guys, hello, Angel. I've asked every nurse and every doctor, if I have any healthcare professionals on here, do you know of any medications with no side effects? Do you know any medications with a 90-day money-back guarantee? This is effective as diabetic, blood pressure, and cholesterol and weight loss. It's in the same book. And when you add fasting to it, it acts just like that. So I just asked that because, like, guys, I've never met a patient, a customer, a doctor, a nurse, anybody. If they could find a natural way to do something, they're always looking for it, right? So this is Dr. Dieter. He actually told me that one of his patients who's a type 1 diabetic, he put him on the protocol. And in 4 days, they were able to reduce reduce insulin use by 54%. Why? If you keep your blood sugar lower by almost half when you eat food, do you need to inject more or less insulin? And then if you stabilize the blood sugar when you're not eating food, do you need more or less insulin? Are you guys getting it? And I'm going to show you proof of this stuff. This is his twin sister, Dr. Dieter. This was her under managed care last August. That's her 2 months on the 3-step reset. That's her a month ago. This is his own dad, who's another medical doctor. Look at the visceral fat, fatty liver, type 2 diabetic under managed care. That's him today. Look at that. No longer a diabetic diagnosis. Jimmy, 16 months at the time, reverse fatty liver, type 2 gone, blood pressure down, sleep apnea gone, depression gone, erectile dysfunction gone, down 88 pounds off 8 meds without a thyroid. Now, if you guys are, this is me over on the book of the face. Now, how many of you have heard of chronic kidney disease? Put CKD in the chat. I'm going to show you right now one of my friends who had his kidney removed. He donated a kidney and developed stage 4 chronic kidney disease in it. I'm going to let Troy tell you his story, okay? This is Troy. I'm here with my friend Troy.
From a bike accident gone, acid reflux gone, brain fog gone, sleep apnea gone, anxiety, depression gone. And then when I went back, I think 3 or 4 months later to have a follow-up from my previous appointment with my nephrologist, my creatinine level is normal, GFR's number were normal. And it's just amazing because I didn't change anything but this protocol. This protocol works.
And so you went from stage 4 kidney
Stage
disease.
4 kidney disease to nothing. My kidney function is normal, and it has been.
Here's my friend Linda. Has anybody heard of leaky gut? If so, put LG in the chat. That's what leads to autoimmune diseases. Linda does sign language for a living up in Quebec in Canada. And this beautiful lady could barely stand up out of her chair. She had inflammation so bad she could barely use her fingers to sign language. That's how inflamed she was. She had done gastric sleeve surgery to try to lose the weight. And in the process, she developed eczema. Look at this, how bad her eczema was. Now, this was Linda under managed care. This is Linda under the 3-step reset. She wore this dress 35 years ago, and she said she was 2 inches smaller than that. Linda, I'm so proud of you. And Linda, I bet your mood, not just from a physical standpoint, right, is incredible, because when you feed the gut fiber, you make serotonin, your happy hormone. And if you can't make it, they're going to give you SSRIs, those are antidepressants, which stands for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Are you guys following? Now, my friend Deb had IBS. She also had stomach issues. She had headaches and low testosterone. This was Deb with IBS, an autoimmune disease that was 7 months apart. Managed care, 3-step reset. Managed care, look at this stuff, guys. Look at this. You guys seeing this? Look at this. Lupus, rheumatism, IBS, managed care, 3-step reset. Do you guys see how much younger these people look? My friend here, Blake, if you saw him and you knew Blake, if you saw him go from this to this, would you guys all ask him what he's doing? If you would, do me a big favor and just put in the chat a question mark. See, when you use this, Nikki is a friend of mine. Her name's Metabolic Must-Haves on here, right? On TikTok. And she watched me for about 3 months, she said, before she finally ordered. And she was like, this just made too much sense. She goes, I didn't really need to lose weight. She goes, but I knew I needed blood work. Because she goes, when I lost some weight, I didn't fix my blood work. So she ordered it for her and her mom also. If you guys want information, just private message me code, and I'll get you my code. You get wholesale price direct from manufacturer, 90-day money back guarantee. Make sure to subscribe. You'll save an extra $25 a month, and you have a 90-day money back guarantee. So Nikki decided to order for her and her mom. She did. And her blood work transformed. Her mom, I forget what size, I don't want to misspeak, but she still lost weight. She didn't realize that she could lose. Transformed her health and body. You should follow her. But her mom dropped her triglycerides 100 points. And her mom was blind, diabetic, all these things. And her husband's like, I got to do something. I got IBS for 20 years. And so he started doing this. And the reason I'm telling you this is our company provides you with a bottle, which people will see you with, which is going to kind of look maybe a little different, but they're going to ask you what you're doing, especially when you go from this to this. And how many of you have been using this and your family and friends are asking you what you're doing? If they are, just give me a thumbs up right now. If you've been using this and your family and friends have noticed differences in you, okay? And then what happens? Why am I telling you this? Well, now our company gives you, okay, they give you your own code that you can now share with your family and friends. You can get them the same wholesale pricing that you get, which is what you would want to do. And you obviously want to be healthier with your family and friends, don't you? And so now they refer, and when you refer family and friends, you get a $10 coupon every month that our company, okay, that those people order. That's our company's way of saying thank you. Now, this beautiful lady right here had Hashimoto's for 20 years. And in 90 days, completely reversed it. Look at this. She's actually referred me, the last time I checked in my back office, 7 people. Yeah. Now, this right here, this lady was a type 2. How many of you have been told that diabetes is genetic? If you've been told this, do me a favor and put a G in the chat, would you? How many of you have heard of the company called 23andMe? If you have, put 23 in the chat. Here's why I'm asking you that. The reason they're named 23andMe, you get 23 chromosomes from your mother, 23 from your dad. When you put them together, isn't that all the chromosomes that you'll ever get? So why then would it take you 23 years, or let's say a year, or 5 years, or 18 years to develop type 1 diabetes? Why would it take 40 years to get type 2 diabetes? If those things are genetic, and that's all the genes you'll ever be born with, shouldn't you be born with it? Like Down syndrome is genetic. Is that making sense? Sure. Makes sense, guys. See, what we like to do in this country is we like to have a fish tank that's disgusting. And your body's full of trash and junk and insulin and all this stuff and your blood sugar. So picture in your mind a fish tank and it's all just murky and you can't see through it. And the fish are swimming upside down and their tongues hanging out of their mouth. And we like to put cells of stem and tides and all these things in there, right? And I'm not against those things, okay? But would it make sense to throw more stuff in the tank, or would it make sense to clean up the water? If it makes sense to clean up the water, put water in the chat. And what's the water I'm trying to teach you guys about? Is insulin resistance. You are swimming in insulin, which causes all of this. And when you fix the root, you get rid of the fruit. Is that making sense? Now, I've got about, like I said, my wife, we're not going anywhere today, so it looks like I got 15 extra minutes. I'm going to shoot her later. So,
You're gonna shoot me.
yep. But look at this lady right here. Now, she was told that this disease is genetic, and look at this. 23 years under managed care. That's her in 6 months, 3-step reset. Managed care, Pastor Chris, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, 3-step reset. Those are gone. Managed care, George, the maple syrup Velo. This is the metabolic grandpa here on TikTok. You should follow him. He's hilarious. And 73-year young man, this was him under managed care, 18.1. Any healthcare providers out there? Have you ever seen an A1C that crazy? Just put HCP, you know what I mean, with a thumbs up. If you've seen worse, I've never seen one that high, personally. Thank you, Fletcher. I mean, it's crazy, right? I'm like, what the heck, right? This is 7.2 now, and that's still diabetic, okay, but much improved. And his glucose was 834. That was at 2 p.m. He goes, I went and fasted till 2 p.m. This is crazy, guys. He goes, because I knew my blood sugar would be lower. The hospital actually called him thinking he was going to stroke out. He was on the golf course. Now, this right here is George today. Now, notice how his waistline shrank 14 inches. And he's added 9 pounds on the scale. Some of you hear that, you go, oh my God, I gained weight. You want to gain muscle. Do you know how they put you in a nursing home? You can't do a squat because you actually are so sarcopenic, you've lost muscle in your glutes and your hamstrings and your quads. You can't stand up. You can't get off a toilet. Are you guys getting it? George here weighed less weight under managed care than George weighed right there. 3-step reset. Managed care Arlie up in Vancouver. Look at this. Look at this. That's Arlie in 90 days. Completely reset that. By the way, Arlie's back in her original wedding dress 15 years later. My friend Crystal is a nurse. This is her under managed care. She had 20 meds she was on a day, Hashimoto's and gastroparesis. Really rough stuff. This is Crystal today. Look at the difference, my friend. 3-step reset. This is managed care and depression, 3-step reset. Managed care builder Sue here on TikTok. And that's the same grandbaby 3 months apart. She was headed to the nursing home in this photo. She had chronic inflammation. She was forgetting people's names. They were going to put her in a skilled facility. This is Sue, same grandbaby. She went from looking like a grandmother to, look at that, That was 30 pounds difference, no longer had the nursing home. This is my friend Michael. Michael, that was his bank statement. You might be thinking, well, I don't know if I can do $5.30 a day or $159 a month. I'm on fixed disability, whatever. Maybe you're Social Security, right? And my heart goes to you, but let me show you something. Because nothing costs you more than the lack of your health. But this right here is my buddy. This is Michael. And Michael, this was his disability right here. And Michael, that was his disability check. And notice how he bought this and see how in June, his income went down, didn't it? He knew where every single penny was going, he told me. And so for breakfast in the morning, he was spending $8 a day. He had type 2 diabetes, weighed almost 500 pounds. He was on 25 medications a day. I said, Mike, how did your income go from down to skyrocketing up? Let me show you. He goes, I started sipping on this. And he goes, I wasn't hungry in the morning. And he goes, I've never done something so simple. He goes, I was so scared to do this being a diabetic because you're told not to fast. And he goes, I made fat. He goes, I wasn't hungry. I just didn't eat. He goes, that was $8 every morning that I put back in my pocket. That was an extra $70 a month over what he had paid for the protocol, the 3-step reset. And so Michael, in over a year, dropped 140 plus pounds. He reversed type 2 diabetes. And also Michael got off 24 of the 25 drugs. He took, the copay money and bought a new truck with it. Wouldn't you like to put money back in your pocket instead of big, BIGPHARM? You guys are so weird, isn't it? Now, if you guys know that this is what you're looking for and you can see yourself doing it, just private message me code and I'll get you where you can get it wholesale price. This is my cousin, Vicky, who was a double diabetic. She had type 2 and type 1. She's no longer type 2. As a type 1 diabetic. She now uses 79% less insulin and has dropped over 50 pounds. Chronic inflammation is gone. She's 60, by the way. And her name's Metabolic Master here on TikTok if you want to follow her. Now, this lady right here didn't lose a pound in 2 months, but this was managed care, and that was 3-step reset. Who would your other look like? Look at this. Polycystic ovarian syndrome for 20 years under managed care. That's a 3-step reset. Managed care, fatty liver or visceral fat, 3-step reset. Managed care, acne, rosacea, psoriasis, eczema. Those are all caused by this, right? Look at these. Look at this. No loose hanging skin. How many of you have lost 50, 60 plus pounds and you don't have any loose hanging skin? Just go ahead and put skin in the chat. How many of you also have shrank your skin tags and they've come off or fallen off without having them removed? You can put STG for skin tags gone in the chat. This is my buddy Cody, that's 72 pounds, no loose hanging skin. Do you guys see it? Managed care, look at this. That's managed care, 3-step reset. Managed care Whitney, that's 72 pounds, and Whitney's fatty liver's gone. Look at do you think Whitney's more confident now? Kaiser, it's really not about a meal plan, to be honest with you. We don't really go into that, but we have tons of science calls you can hop on and learn. It's about using proper food order. So Aaron went from dad bod and managed care with fatty liver to 3-step reset. Those are gone. Michael was morbidly obese for 20 years. Michael's being baptized right now. God bless him, man. I'm really proud of this man. We're getting rebaptized, he said, but his triglycerides are down 49 points. He's lost, I think he said 85 pounds now, and cut his visceral fat in half, and his HDL's up and his VLDL's down. This is Dr. Brown. Dr. Brown's one of the smartest, sweetest people I ever met. She's an endocrinologist. While in med school, right? Here's what happens, right? What happens is she went through, and her dad had developed type 2 diabetes. So while in med school, she was going to be a pediatrician, changed her major to help her dad. So Dr. Brown became pre-diabetic, insulin resistant, and was taking metformin. Now, guys, do you remember the old song, when you trust the television, what you get is what you got? Because when they own the information, I'm sure they don't twist it all they want. What do you think? So when she went to school, they actually, right, what do they do? I mean, they have to take tests. And if you're taking the wrong tests, or what if you're reading the wrong information? I mean, if you're an archer and you're shooting the wrong target, do you win or lose? Right, Patch? So this is Dr. Brown right here. That was under managed care. That was 3 months. She's off her metformin. She puts her dad, who now had dementia, and Alzheimer's on it. So do you guys know that with dementia and Alzheimer's, it goes up 81% when you're diabetic? So she goes, this just makes sense. I'm going to do this. And she goes, there's no side effects. It's listed in the same book that doctors recommend drugs from. And there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. What do I have to lose? It's food. So she puts her dad just on the products. She doesn't have her dad fasting. And in 6 months, her dad reversed his type 2 diabetes. She actually left standard care to do this full time. Why would doctors do that? Why do we have so many doctors joining us? It's crazy, isn't it? Now, this is my buddy Boogie. Boogie's a type 1 diabetic. This was Boogie when he was injecting 50 to 60 units of insulin a day. That right there, see that? Insulin, by the way, when you do that, it's your fat storing hormone. This is Boogie today. Now, if you saw this man go from that to that, would you guys all ask him what he's doing? Do you know he now uses, he said, 5 to 6 insulin units a day tops, and some days 0 as a type 1 diabetic. This is my friends Rob and Melissa. I'm going to be up at their place. How many of you live in the Dayton, Ohio area? I'll be speaking at their place in Houston, Ohio, just north of Troy in Dayton. Tuesday night, and then Wednesday night, I'm going to be speaking at down in Dayton, Ohio, near I-675 South. If you're in the area, look me up. But this guy right here has been on the protocol for a year. He's down 60-something pounds off 6 medications. Look at that. It's crazy, isn't it? I'll be coming to Michigan. Casey, actually, I am. End of May, June, I think. I'm going to be up there speaking. Yeah, I'll be up there. I used to live up there, so I'll be up there then. But look at my friend Lori. Her name's Metabolic Mainstay. This was Lori. She had menopausal issues so bad that she would take 2 and 3 cold showers every single night because of hot flashes. And she had hypertension, phase 2, pre-diabetic, 35 pounds. This was her under managed care, 3-step reset. That's her husband in his 60s. This, look at this. I've got about 10 minutes I'm going to roll, guys. So this lady dropped 70. This is managed care, 3-step reset. Managed care, this is Dr. Natasha Pierre. She's a pediatrician. She had IBS. That's the 3-step reset. She referred her friend Angelita. Look at this transformation. Now, Angelita's a nurse practitioner. And Angelita said this. She goes, she was on 6 meds a day for 10 years. She had 5 for GERD, IBS, 1 for depression. And in 10 days got off all of these. Crazy, isn't it? That was her biggest win. This guy, Jonathan Scott, played in the NFL for 10 years. Jonathan Scott had psoriatic arthritis and psoriasis. This is 5 weeks, 57 pounds. Those things are gone. This is Kim. Notice the skin tags. She didn't have them removed. They fell off, guys. Look at that. That's 60 days right there. Managed care, 3-step reset. This is 3-step reset, managed care. This is my friend. This is, isn't this crazy? This is a year and 0. Look at that. No diabetes anymore. Look at this guy in his 70s. This was Christmas Day. Her name's Wonder Love here on TikTok. And this beautiful lady wrote me this. She's like, I feel like I'm in my 30s again. And she goes, she reversed her fatty liver she had for 5 years. Triglycerides dropped, HDL went up, and those are the kind of message I get every day. So I've got a couple minutes. I'll answer a couple questions I got to run. If you guys want to see Dr. Dieter tonight, and he's an internal medicine doctor. And guys, these products that I'm sharing with you, they are listed in the physician's desk reference. There are 0 side effects. He's a pediatrician. His 1-year-old drinks the tea and the fiber. We have 1-year-olds, I do, to 102 years old doing this. There are 0, this is not weight loss, just so you know. It's about controlling insulin. So if you don't need to lose weight, you won't. If you need to lose weight, you will. I don't use those, Melanie. But the 3-step reset is super simple. It is you wake up in the morning and you sip on a tea all morning long. It helps you fast. I haven't eaten yesterday since like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the fiber that we add back to your food. This is what helps heal the gut. So the 3-step reset reverses insulin resistance and detoxes the liver, and it feeds the gut. When you feed the gut, your inflammation drops. You get 2 teas per day, Kaiser, and you get 1 fiber matrix. I send you a couple videos how to do it. It's super simple. It's $5.30 a day when you subscribe, which I highly recommend. And you have a 90-day money-back guarantee. They're going to email you 5 days before it renews. So you have complete control over, okay, your order. You know when it's coming. And it's super simple, guys. Now, if you guys have questions about like the cholesterol, how to read your cholesterol panel to determine your insulin resistance, private message me cholesterol. If you guys want my discount, you know this is what you're looking for. You can hear yourself, see yourself doing it. Sounds like what you've been looking for. Private message me code, and I'll get you my code. I have a video explaining that, Dan. I can't stick around and explain it, but you eat fiber first, then fats and proteins. Carbs always last. Stop snacking, guys. The worst thing on the planet you can do is snack. You're keeping insulin levels elevated. Insulin tells your body to store fat. Okay, I got like 3 minutes and I got to run. So you guys better ask quick. And tomorrow I won't be on here. I'll be traveling to Dayton, Ohio to speak. And this is, I want to show you guys this. This is my friend.
Video testimony of
how many of you have heard of Lyme disease? If you have, put Lyme in the chat. This is my friend, Dr. Abby. She actually wrote goodbye letters to her own kids.
Orogenic tea.
I had Lyme since the age of 19. I just got diagnosed 6 years ago. Exhausted all the time, but brain fog crept in. My heart palpitations were bad. My blurry vision would be so bad that I couldn't even drive. Sometimes I'd have to pull over and just close my eyes. Absolutely zero energy. Days I would take 8 Advil a day just because you're just so desperate to get out of pain. I'd given up hope. I've written goodbye letters to my kids. Because I just know you can't live that long, living that way. But thank God for Dr. Kenny. And I love being a chiropractor. I love helping people. Thanks to this Feel Great system. I can sleep from 10 o'clock at night till 6 in the morning. I don't even get up to go to the bathroom. I'm so thankful for this. I feel great. This morning, I've done 5 loads of laundry. I shoveled 7 inches of snow out of my 4-car driveway. I have kids' breakfast this morning. Sounds like normal day stuff, like a normal human being. Now I can do that. I'm a normal human being.
I want to show.
Crazy, isn't it? Guys, this stuff works as long as you use it and use it properly. It will not let you down. Marina, I'm so proud of you. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Yeah, you never know, guys. Someone out there right now is praying for exactly from what you've just heard, what you've been using. And we are looking for people all around the world to work with us. I might not be the voice for you, and that's okay. But, there's other people in here like Metabolic, Come Back Keith, Chopper Talk, right? My wife, Honest Fiber. Thanks, baby. These are all people sharing this, guys. Linda, right, has transformed her health. Get with these people. Get with them. They love you. They want to help you. Where can you try something risk-free for 90 days? Just be consistent, use it properly, and it won't let you down. And I'm looking for certain people to partner with and work with to teach you everything I know. And if I'm not your cup of tea, go reach out to these other people because they right now have answers for people that are looking for this. I was praying for this and someone gave this to me and shared it with me. I should say they didn't give it to me. And it transformed my health. And now I'm fortunate enough to travel the world and do this all around the world. So I'll be in Dayton, Ohio, speaking this week, Tuesday and Wednesday night. If you're in the area, look me up. And then I'm also going to be in Michigan. I'm going to be in Vegas here in a couple weeks. And then I'm going to be up in Michigan at the end of May and speaking. And then I can't remember, I'm supposed to be in July. I might be in Wisconsin speaking. So I'm all over the planet speaking about this. I just got back from Houston. I've been to Germany. I've been all over the country so far this year. And so I was just in McCormick, South Carolina last week with my friend Andrea. So guys, get with these people, follow these people. They will, I promise you, change your life. So God bless you. Thank you. I got to run. If you have any questions I didn't answer, private message me. If you know this is what you're looking for and you want my code to get it wholesale price direct from manufacturer, just private message me code. And Joyce, thank you, sweetheart. If you need more info, that's fine. I get it. Just private message me info. I'll be happy to get and answer any questions I can to help you. Guys, stick around, follow. I won't be on here tomorrow. I'll put some videos and stuff out, but follow us. We are here to help you guys. God bless you.